I'm Brendan. I'm playing Sterling Reynolds, the human commander.
My name is Amber Rose, and I'm playing Beatrice Adley Matilda Francesca Solomon Smith. She is a wood elf occultist.
Hello, my name is Jeffrey Hodge. I play Robinil Rockapace, a wood elf bard.
I'm Daniel, and I run the wood elf monk named San Gomez Maxillian, the friendly neighborhood medicine man gypsy.
Hi, I'm Vivian, and I play May Brienne Shergo, the Go Get 'em Rogue.
I'm Corey. I play Eduardo Delamonte, Wood Elf Ranger.
I am Trevor. I am the GM for this 13th-page campaign.
So have we spent most of our lucre in upgrading the ship?
Technically, we haven't spent any. Yeah.
Alright, do we agree on the plan of spending 10 on food, 8 on water? That's the actual lucre, not the, well, basically bringing food and water up to 6, bringing the other 3 up to 5. Or do we want to bring food and water up to 6? What's the 8?
I'd say 4 is okay
What
for
is
the
our
other things.
destination?
Well,
We don't need to bring them up to 5.
I think 5 is good, but if we lift morale at 4 and bump condition up to 6.
Those things are just going to be, like, I feel like we should spend a little bit more lucre on actual upgrades.
Hold up. How long will it take to get to our new destination? 'Cause that's kind of important to know.
Anywhere from 5 to 7 weeks.
Depends on if you're actually stopping at Lockstock or not.
Yes.
We're going to Lockstock.
Lockstock is 5 weeks away for a competent crew.
But yeah, morale we can raise on the go, so that one I'm less concerned about. Condition
You
we
can raise
No,
morale on
not
the go, although you can't do it just by making a skill check.
Yeah,
Although
we have
actually
to do an
that's
event.
You should have actually gained it out of that.
Of morale? Oh, well that
For the
takes care
slave
of that.
rebellion, we're saving a bunch of people.
Oh, awesome. Well,
Your crew
that,
likes being heroes. It makes you feel good.
well then we don't have to worry about that then.
They've got 2 morale. We no longer have to concern ourselves with it.
No, we still need to put some in it, but I mean, we don't have to worry about spending as much. Looking at us
Negative morale, where
There's
they're just...
If it
There is
reaches
no
0, we're
negative
screwed.
morale. If it hits 0, your crew mutinies.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
but-
basically
No, but,
the
like, for
crew
negative,
splits into
would
2
you-
factions.
Would you
One
do it by
evil
fair?
faction decides
I
that
mean, fair?
Neelix has been
Yes,
hoarding
the
food for too damn long, and the second
no, I
faction
must say,
believes,
Starfleet.
Janeway, you have had
Driven
enough
by
coffee
fear.
for one day.
That brings up a pretty good point.
Could you run your crew on fear?
Not particularly.
Horrible person, Vivian.
Fear does not improve morale. It's actually a really bad way of keeping your crew.
No, that's why I'm like, is there a
It
negative?
works. It basically works as a temporary measure. Like if your morale hit 0, you might be able to terrify your crew into not mutinying, but it wouldn't last.
Here's how we
I
do
mean,
it.
the fact that
We're
that's
psychic.
The fact that's where your brain goes, though, explains a whole hell of a lot about our childhood. But condition goes down quickly if we actually.
No,
make
I'm
any
okay with
comments
I'm
about
okay
it.
with up a condition. I'm just saying
Okay.
we don't need to go past 5. 5 should be
No,
fine.
5 is solid.
But, like,
well, 6,
Yeah,
I still
half
bring,
dead is perfectly reasonable.
No, condition. I
That's
still
what ship
think we should
condition
go for
is.
6.
It's like out of 10.
I mean,
10 is a fully
That's
repaired
twice
ship.
as healthy as we used to be.
Like, keep in mind, your ship condition 10 is in full repair. Your ship is not looking great.
Wait, do we have
This
any
is the
plan of
Firefly.
action? 'Cause if we have a
We're
plan
going
of-
to Lockstock.
this is Serenity. It's
Yeah,
always
what
in
are we doing
disrepair.
We're bringing stuff to
Are you
Lockstock.
going
Yeah.
to just impose
Legal
moratorium
stuff.
that you may never purchase
Is
ship
that
condition
is that my
all the way to
stabilizing
10?
panel that just fell off?
No.
I'd say splurge in case we don't make it there, but...
Yeah. Well,
No, okay.
So
I
we
think
could at least die rich.
5 in ship condition is golden, but then like everything else should be at most 4, not food and water included. Like I don't include food and water in that
Well,
consideration. Like 4 morale and 4 evilness. They're sort of healthy.
if you guys are actually going to be traveling to Lockstock Island,
Yes.
there are some things I could just tell you right off the bat about it that you can figure out just by asking around in town.
Yes.
Lockstock Island. Its official name is Longstock Island, in the sense of like things growing. However, outside of a couple of official documents, no one calls it that. Lockstock is actually 2 islands. There's a mainland, which is mostly comprised of jungle, with a large crescent-shaped bay that contains the second, much smaller island.
There's a
Lockstock?
smaller island called Barrel.
No. Should be. Some of the locals might call it that. Lockstock is currently occupied by a civilization called the Arcadian Empire. It is serving as a source of lumber, as well as an observation post. Keep a lookout, both for smuggling efforts from Brighton and on developments at the Brass Tower. The Brass Tower, as I mentioned in an email, but should probably mention for the benefit of the recording, is a large metal tower on a small island, about a week away from Lockstock, which is constantly surrounded by a perpetual storm that never seems to clear up or go away. Lightning frequently hits the tower.
Gee, I wonder why.
Yeah, maybe it's something about being tall and made of metal.
That sounds certainly interesting.
As a result of this, however, Lockstock, being only a week away, is also frequently plagued with storms.
Yeah, condition up, up, up.
The Arcadian Empire has established a fort there called Fort Locke, which is actually where it started being called Lockstock, which is actually located on that small island in the bay. You know that it's operated by someone named Commodore Oliver Harrison. He's apparently in charge of the fort, and apparently he's a gnome. The Arcadian Empire has a network of ships that travel between Fort Locke and the rest of their empire, which serve as a message of relaying, a way of relaying messages quickly by semaphore and lantern. I'm just going to take a moment till that crinkling stops.
Sorry.
It's fine. The fort has a small fleet of military ships to patrol the island. Of this fleet, only about a half dozen of them are actually operational at any given time. Due to the omnipresent storms that plague the region, Lockstock's fleet is always in need of repair. Lockstock's mainland primarily houses a large lumber town, the locals call the stockyard, with the rest of the island being jungle. You guys have 4 successes on your carousing check. There are 2 things you can do with that. One is you can spend dice from sets 1 for 1 as Lucre for upgrading stuff. The other thing you can do is you can spend dice to gain information that's more tricky to find about something. I will always tell you if there's an option for information to be gained. In this case, there is an option to spend a die to find out what would be a good idea to ship.
Well,
Let's do that.
might as well spend 1 die. It's the equivalent of 2 Lucre.
It's the equivalent of 1.
Yeah, it's the equivalent of spending a Lucre, except
Well,
possible
except
to
that it
generate
would
for
count,
free.
since the die would count for 1 item of something, which would normally cost us 2 Lucre, it actually is the equivalent of 2 Lucre.
What?
No, 1 die is 1 Lucre.
But I thought you said that we would trade the dice 1 for 1.
1 for 1 as Lucre.
Oh, okay. Sorry,
Yeah.
never mind.
So confused. I don't even know what you were thinking.
Sorry. My brain went somewhere else. I apologize.
No, you don't just get free dots and stuff.
No, I thought
Nothing
that-
is free.
Oh, that's so. Oh, Jesus. No. That'd be amazing.
I mean, in the sense that you roll 10-sided dice and get a set, which always has to be at least 2 dice. I suppose in that regard.
What if we got, like, all 10s on 10 dice?
Then we win the game.
Height on carousing checks is relevant, but it's only relevant if it's hard to buy things somewhere. Like if you're in a place where people aren't inclined to give you a deal, either because they don't like you or because supplies are low, then the check gets a difficulty, which means only sets above a certain number count.
Fair enough.
Alright, so, yeah, spend 1 for information, and then the rest doing what was discussed in the emails, and I'm okay with. Except don't put ableness and morale above 4, I would say.
Perhaps you might want to know what not to bring there.
Well, let's see what the information is.
Well, the information is going to be what we're... Okay, go ahead.
Alright. Because Lockstock's fleet is always in need of repairs, their lumber camp actually provides wood, rope, and pitch in ready abundance. However, they lack infrastructure to manufacture cloth for sails properly. As such, sails and sailcloth are in high demand. Spending the die means that instead of just being told that cloth is valuable, you get to learn what the specific dimensions of the sails the Arcadian Empire's patrol ships use, so you can actually just ship sails instead of cloth. And save space, and get a more valuable thing of cargo.
That means if our sail breaks, we have spares.
Well, except for the fact that different.
Except your ship is not the same dimension.
Yeah.
Because your ship is a Lemurian ship. Or at least part of one.
By the way,
I'm pretty sure we can work it out.
What about
fix the whale.
less
Wait.
than legal stuff?
Let's.
Give me
Okay.
a charisma check to go hunting for less than legal jobs.
I mean, if we want more information, that'll cost us another point.
Okay, that would be 12. Oh, 13.
where were you checking?
You got any backgrounds that might have fun?
Ever Casanova?
I'm asking...
Oh, Stone Astari for drug checks.
I will allow that. Rockstar background for knowing about drug dealing. I will allow that. Yeah, there's a possible side job you can get here. Rum running.
Yeah.
Soldiers at Fort Locke are not allowed alcohol.
Yeah.
They'll pay good money if you can get some there.
We have a distillery.
There's
in
I
mind.
think it takes
Good
a bit
liquor,
longer
yeah.
to make.
Well, presumably, at least with alcohol, if we have it on our
Okay,
ship,
wait,
they're like, why do we
so-
have alcohol? We're like, well, it's ours.
Is the cost value for volume shipping?
Okay, here's the thing. Rum running is what's called a side job.
Okay.
That means what you're shipping does not actually take up your hold, particularly. Like, you're shipping a couple barrels at the most of rum to some soldiers at Fort Locke. Like, you
In
can do
our-
this in addition to sales.
Okay, that
In
sounds
our
good.
convenient secret compartment?
The way side jobs work is you
Drunk
pay
rat.
some amount of lucre up front, in this case a max of 2, and then try to resell that at the fort at some sort of markup. The markup is based on how difficult or tricky it is to get there. In this case, you would be getting basically 5 back on each one you spend, so you get a profit of 4 for each one, assuming you can actually pull it off.
Why not?
Because,
It's.
well, the thing is, you have to get it to Fort Locke.
I'm
which is
okay
a
with.
military.
Yeah, I'm saying pissing off an island.
Well, no, I'm
Yeah.
okay. I'm okay
You
with having.
You
getting,
can get barrels of rum to Lockstock without much difficulty. Getting it to the fort would be tricky.
I'm
Not
okay
to
with
play
getting the
devil's
2
advocate,
barrels.
But do we have to do anything
No.
illegal?
No, I'm actually okay with us being.
No,
I
but-
love
no,
that you say not to play devil's advocate, but do we have to be evil?
No, but no,
That is the opposite of devil's advocate's job.
no. But
we
what
have a
if?
secret compartment.
Yeah,
It seems a shame not
It's
to use it.
no, but it's not even
It's
that.
just
If
going to
we
be unoccupied.
if we just get 2 barrels of rum, we could just have it.
No, you see,
Well, yeah.
we can really confuse someone. The guy comes in to inspect our ship,
think
finds
Rum
the
is
secret
just handed
compartment,
out.
and he goes, "Aha! So you've been smuggling something, are you? Well, just
we're-
take a look. There's nothing in here."
If we just have rum that can help us with morale if we need it, it's not a bad option.
But the thing is, okay, here's the thing. With what the allocation of Lucre described in the email, not including the changes, like, not including the point we've already got there, and stuff which we can deal with later,
-1.
we ended up, -1, we ended up with 12 Lucre left over.
Okay.
We can assume that 5 to 7 of that is going to be spent on bat upkeep,
Yep.
which leaves us with 5.
Yep.
If we spend 2 of that, then we have a wiggle room of 3 Lucre, which
keeping in mind, when you hit Lockstock,
we're going to need to spend
you're
on
going to need to
restocking
pay
our ship.
docking taxes and your crew.
So I am really against the extra expenditure here.
We shouldn't spend. Well, okay, then.
One thing I can tell you is the higher your morale is, the less you spend on your crew, because they'll accept lower wages.
We're having a party on.
Here's the other thing, though. Here's the other thing. Is the lucre that we're spending including the stuff we just got from our job? Because then we'll have nothing to ship.
Trevor's not charging us for the stuff we're shipping before.
Okay, the way your stuff in your hold works,
Okay.
you technically have more lucre than's written on that sheet.
Okay.
It's just your hold is occupied with something. While you're in town, you can trade this something for other stuff at pretty even prices.
Yeah. The thing is, while you're in town, there's no modifier for like things being from somewhere else or shipping costs that could actually make profit occur. So you're, in simplification, you can just trade these things around for other things.
No, but
So in this case, you're trading what junk is in your hold for sales.
no. But if we're spending the lucre that we have to make the improvements to our ship and then being left with like 5, then we don't have. Do we have anything to ship then?
No,
Or
they're
it's
shipping the
on
sales.
another
Basically, what's happening is all the stuff in our
Okay,
cargo.
so it's
our
our-
lucre is just our profit.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's our surplus.
What's written right there is
Okay.
excess.
It's a surplus,
You
okay.
can go into negative lucre. It's a really fucking bad idea to do it.
All right, sure. Then no rum. That's fine. We don't have to do the side job.
The other thing, of course, to keep in mind is alcohol is only forbidden to soldiers on duty at the fort. You can buy booze at Lockstock
Yeah.
and then try and smuggle it from there.
Yeah.
It would be trickier because
They know, hey, you just
soldiers
bought
who
some.
aren't crooked might know you were buying a bunch of rum in town.
What if we had him use the still to create
Our
the
still's really
most
expensive to
pure
use.
alcohol of all time, and it's like it'll
Our still's
burn
really
your
good.
insides.
You could try to run the still. It basically costs 3 to run it to create a unit of something. If you spend 3 lucre per, normally you'd be spending 1 in rum.
No, we'd
And
only
you
be
can
getting a
potentially
profit
still
on
turn a
it.
profit of 1 per, yeah.
What
You
if
would
it's
get
a
5 back on an
base?
investment of 3.
What if it's like gasoline? Like the alcohol that we generate.
That's not gonna
Still?
make them happier.
Okay, well,
It'll get them drunker.
No, it won't.
What
get
about
them deader.
Harry's special brew?
It's like rubbing alcohol. Just like glug, glug, glug.
Alright.
So, at this very moment, we are sitting at, for our food, we're sitting at 1. For our water, we're sitting at 2. For
Our water is about 1.
water's at 1.
Food and water are both at 1.
Oh, I for some reason Okay. What's the middle stat?
Ableness.
Ableness.
You know you can move this shit.
Yes.
I'm fine with having
Ableness is at 3.
and then just pumping the rest of the stats.
So,
Oh, thing
sailing checks. The way a sailing check works is if you crit fail a sailing check, so all your dice, no sets, and nothing is above a 5, you're going to get attacked by something. The width of a roll determines how long the trip takes you. If you just plain fail the check in any capacity, you lose a week. If you succeed, you spend the expected time for the trip. If you succeed with a width through 3 or more, you save it. Height of the sailing check is how well you avoid danger on the trip. So if you get a set of 1s, you're getting caught in a storm, and yeah, bad things will happen. I can actually tell you, I'll just tell you. Height of 1 is lose 1 ship condition, 1 morale, and 1 ableness.
Oh god.
People died.
2 to 3 is lose 1 ship condition and 1 morale. 4 to 7, lose 1 morale. People don't like being rained on constantly. And 8 or better on the height, no losses.
Yeah.
Is there any way to use luck points to help benefit those rolls?
Invest in raincoats.
Like
Get some raincoats.
maybe like
Oh, when we're assisting the
turn the die of like the face of
no.
one die down 1 or up 1.
Maybe. I'm not sure how the stats on that work.
Because if it's only a range of going up or down 1, that limits the range of ability.
It does good.
It's not too much, but it definitely.
The thing is, if you
not
fail
just
the
free.
check by
Yes.
rolling 5 dice,
Yes.
you're almost always going to go.
Shit pepperoni.
one brand
The problem is that scaling in power logarithm.
What if it's only down?
Yeah.
Turning down, like turning the face downward.
That's still very safe.
Yes.
I'm going to say no for now, but I'll try and think of how that might work.
It'll probably end up being something like you can spend it for a die or something like that. Or to re-roll some of the dice.
If I may return the conversation to the sheet, the condition sheet at present. Jeffrey's suggestion was that we bring up all of our skills to 2, which I agree was a good idea, but I'd also
it makes
recommend...
it possible for your crew to succeed at them on their own.
Yes, exactly. And my suggestion would also be that we then improve sailing up to a base of 3. Do we agree that that's a good idea?
Yes.
Okay, so doing that will cost us 7 lucre. Now, we figured that going to the town was 5 weeks?
Yep.
Okay.
5 if you succeed.
5
on
if
the
we
sailing
succeed.
check.
So we're going to assume it's going to be 6 weeks, so we'll
go to
need
7.
6 weeks.
I would go to 7.
7?
Just to have that one buffer in case something bad happens to
Well,
us.
We don't really have enough
you know, we could,
We-
if an emergency, we can just, spend the
3 to do it, which would bring us into negative lucre, but, well,
In an
might
emergency,
not.
you can spend 3 to get water, and you can try splitting your dice for your roll
get
into
food.
sailing and survival to try and use the water.
Okay.
Yes, I should probably point out to the recording, I changed how the still in the net worked. The still, once every 2 weeks, you can buy 1 water for 3 lucre. Quote unquote buy. That's just what it costs to run the thing. The dredge net, you spend 1 lucre when you use it to maintain it in repair, and then make a survival check during your trip. The width of the roll equals how many points of food you generate. So if you get good at survival, you can start getting food really cheap that way.
Yeah,
Alright.
The only thing to keep in mind is when you're doing that is you are splitting the dice you generate into sailing and survival.
Yeah.
Hence, it
Which
can
is
make
great.
it go slower. Which I actually really liked your suggestion of how that ends up working out.
sorry.
How was that Morose to do? All blame to M.
I'm sorry, I like making our lives
In all
difficult.
honesty, it's actually just a very elegant way of doing it.
So,
It also handily eliminates a
okay,
minor problem.
sure, we can just go to 6, and if necessary,
Because 6 is, it means even if we bog ourselves up, we should still get there in 6 weeks. Hopefully.
no, if you like ultra crit fail, you go to 7. That's like 1 and 2 only. Like no sets with a 1 and 2.
Which, with a base of 3 in sailing,
Yeah.
as long as 2 of us get an assist on it,
Yeah.
sorry, 3 of us get an assist on it, we can't do. But if we do it, we can go and we can operate our.
No, base of 3, it's impossible then, because you roll 3 dice, right? You
We'd have to get
You
lower.
have to roll 2 dice with 1 and 2 and no sets
Something amazing.
to get like an ultra crit fail. Like you
No,
fantastically.
it doesn't matter how many dice you have, as long if you have less than 5. And
No,
none of them
no.
are
There's
pairs.
like the ultra bad situation in which you roll 2 dice and you only get 1 and 2, and there's no set there.
I thought it was no matter how many dice you had, but as long as there were no pairs and they were all under the
No,
base.
Trevor said that there's this like scenario if you roll the bottom with no set, you
Yeah.
like super duper ultra fail.
Which in theory could be 1, 2,
Crit
3, 4,
failing
5.
is yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is a crit fail.
Yeah.
It's
So we have to have
basically
basic.
rolling a
Oh.
straight.
We'd have
I
to have
thought you told
6
me. I
dice.
thought you told me there's something like there's something else that could happen if you rolled the bottom.
That was when you guys were going around Sahagin Alley. I just said I made up the idea that if you rolled hilariously bad,
Okay.
I was going to have you get attacked anyway.
Okay.
In this case, I've decided that I'm not going to make some secondary level of crit failing,
Okay.
just because it's too fiddly to do.
I mean,
Crit failing be crit failing.
okay.
Yeah. If we put, do you want to do 4 into ableness, 5 into morale, 6 into condition?
You know, I think
Sure.
I want more enableness.
Well, 5 into ableness.
We can get a
4
lot of
into
use out of
morale.
ableness.
I'll just say
I would go
the second
lower
one
on-
wouldn't really do it.
No, because morale's almost guaranteed to go
that
down.
comment is regardless.
Yeah, that's
I
fine.
would. I would rather keep it at least an even keel.
Well, the other option is we can put 6, 6, 5, 5, 6. I wouldn't recommend going lower than 6 in ship condition, because that's...
No, that's fine. That's fine. So yeah, we'll keep morale and ableness at the same. So it's 5. Or
Yeah, which actually doesn't change our total as calculated in the email, because we added 1 extra, but we actually got the free one in...
Yep. You got an extra dot of morale for liberating a slave camp.
Okay.
Yeah.
Made your crew feel like big damn heroes.
For a little while.
Yep.
What about the party?
Which
or
brings our
what
total
about the
still to
free
39.
weekend port that we gave?
That doesn't do anything.
It stopped us from losing the morale we would
Like when you
have.
get into port, they usually cease being in your employ, and you start hiring other people. People who are miserable enough to be willing to work on this ship of hell.
It's not a ship of hell.
This is the ship of heroes.
Nope.
Oh, speaking of...
That's also why you need to make skullduggery checks to have your crew not talk about things you've done. Because
shit.
once they're off your ship, they're not in your employ anymore, and you can't really punish them if they start talking.
Quick, you need to invent non-disclosure agreements. Is that a craft check?
Alright, so are we okay with this plan?
Yep.
Yes.
Moving forward, so we have
Well,
wiggle room
actually,
of 6.
one
Yeah.
additional thing: nameplate.
We don't
Oh
have
yeah,
the,
we did discuss the cost
I don't
of
think we
nameplate.
have the costs.
Oh, we didn't include the cost of nameplate or the cost of arming the crew.
What is our current cruise? How much do we have to pay our crew?
It's not fixed. It varies depending on what their morale is. It is based, I'll just tell you, it's based on what your highest skill rating is. So if you min-max your skills, hey, you're going to have to pay them. It's basically your highest dot rating in a skill minus your crew's current morale. And then there is also a base level, which is I think like 3.
If we have,
So our
And it goes to a minimum of 1.
So our current is 1.
3.
Currently 4.
The skills.
3 plus the base.
Plus your highest skill.
Uh-huh.
6.
Minus 2.
Minus 2.
Okay. So that is how much we're paying per.
But
Do we
see,
need?
with our,
Do we need artillery right now?
No.
It's per
I would argue.
significant
Yeah, we don't
length of
need.
We're
time
too
at
early
sea.
for that. Besides, we are artillery.
it's basically
No,
something
we're
that
boarding. We're not.
The other thing is that base number of 3 varies depending on where you're
And I'm
docked.
okay with more boarding
Because
than
it's actually
artillery
also including
because
docking.
Alright.
what we do is we
That's what
basically
I'm- that's what
catch
we're
up to a
just
ship
talking
and
about.
hop on and just wreck their stuff.
Artillery can be our next purchase.
Yeah,
If we
so-
buy those bows and
I don't-
arrows,
we
though,
don't
it
need
brings
the bows
us
and
down.
arrows.
No?
It's
It's 3 lucre. It's 3 lucre.
I think I said like 3.
Yeah.
It's certainly not 1.
It'd be 3 lucre,
thought
which would
the
bring us
ballista
to
was
wiggle,
3.
wiggle
The
room of
ballista
3.
is 10.
We think we are going to a military island where, well, presumably either weapons will be, there'll be significant laws surrounding them, or they'll be less expensive to buy. One of these two
You
things.
can actually give me some kind of intelligence-y kind of check there.
I will happily do so since I brought my dice this week.
Military surplus.
Lies. You could also spend one of your 2 remaining carousing dice on it.
I
your
got 12, and
free
if we add my bureaucracy, that's 18.
18? Not quite enough.
Dang it. I guess I could.
we don't need to worry about artillery.
Oh, sorry, that's not including, that's not including
Intelligence?
skill or level.
Well done. What did you roll on the die?
12!
Ah.
Okay, first roll of the night, guys. And either intelligence or wisdom, that'd be an extra 6 to it, so 24.
24? Yeah. Alright. You actually can learn the local economy.
Oh,
of
plus the
Lockstock.
+1 to 25. Sorry.
You can learn the local economy of Lockstock Island. Ship condition can be purchased 1 cheaper.
No, it was 24. Sorry, it was 24.
Survival can also be purchased 1 cheaper. Ableness is 1 more expensive, and artillery is 1 more expensive. The lumber camp has high demand for able-bodied workers. As such, medical treatment, medicine, and healthy workers are at a premium. The lumberyard manufactures wood, rope, and pitch in abundance. Although they're short of cloth, they're full of everything else you need to patch up a ship, so average cost of repairs drops a bit. Woodcutters and miners of the stockyard are full of tips for living off the land and performing construction and repairs, so good advice is easy to buy. On the other hand, the Arcadian Navy takes a dim view to people firing weapons within the town. So if you want to actually practice your shooting, you're either going to have to do it under the supervision of soldiers, whose time is valuable, or pay someone to take you out into the woods to do it, which doesn't come cheap.
Okay.
Why do we have to pay someone
To train you.
Oh, fair enough.
So it might be worth improving our ship
Otherwise,
condition
you're
even
just
more when we get there.
reinforcing bad habits.
I figured he was like, he had trained.
Yeah, so I recommend maybe changing our plan for buying things.
Not really much of it.
Like maybe
I don't think we need artillery. I don't think we'll need artillery in
having our.
the ultra near future, unless we're having a plan to assault somebody.
I think we can wait
Unless you
on
crit fail a sailing check.
No, but then even then, are we assaulting someone or
You're
defending?
usually getting attacked by somebody.
And in that case, typically I guess they could run and gun, but
One second.
even so, even if we're getting attacked, I feel like if it's the only time that artillery would matter if it's another ship attacking us, and in that case, we could probably try and board them.
Artillery is relevant regardless of what's stacking, because you'll usually see it coming with some degree of distance, and you can get some shots on it.
Less people to fight.
I don't think we should worry about
But that's less
right now.
glory for that guy.
That's an interesting argument to be made. But it would make Corey unhappy. It would make that guy, who I've done nothing but yell at for the last 3 weeks, unhappy.
Hey, whoa.
Whoa.
Last
We've all yelled
I
at him.
also smacked him upside the head.
Last week, I was in defense because of the good he had done in the previous session, so I didn't hold it against him anymore. But
Oh, are we talking
if he
about Corey?
continues to do things,
Nope.
then
Yes.
yes, that will be against him. We don't need the nameplate, but
So how much lucre do we have?
How much did we figure the nameplate would be? Sorry, I didn't
I think I
know.
said like 1 or 2.
Okay. We probably shouldn't buy that on a military-controlled island. Just thinking.
Yeah, one was for something you could just replace one with the other. 2 was for a spinning thing that you could put more
I think one that we could replace would be better because, you know, it's easier to explain than one that's clearly meant for deceptive purposes.
also we can store the other nameplates in our hiding hole.
We've got spaces for the other names.
I thought it would work by like a triangular prism.
But then if anyone spotted it, if anyone ever actually found it, they'd be like, why do you have this oddly suspicious tool?
But it's curved, isn't it?
No,
It could be
wouldn't be a
compensated.
triangular prism. It would be a weirdly shaped, curved-sided thing. But yeah,
It would be very non-Euclidean.
Would it jeopardize the water?
Well, the
Euclidean.
the name's high enough on a ship usually. It's,
no, that's for points. You just in a graph. You
I
can
don't want to
surround
worry
those.
about it.
but yeah, honestly, I think we're probably better off having to switch, manually switching one out.
Okay, so are we getting a nameplate now? Or nameplates?
Well, we're not really doing.
I will say, if you're repainting your name, people can tell you've done that. Because you like sand off the previous one and repaint it, and you're never going to get the color exactly the same.
I think we should get the plate.
they'll be able to look at it and
Okay.
go, "That
Well, if
name's
it's only going to cost us one,
Okay, well, what are we losing?
this is what we have after bat upkeep.
Yep.
Maximum bat upkeep.
Yep. Okay. So then we lose 1.
Presumably maximum bat upkeep.
No,
I don't like
love,
that thing.
I just love the fact that the calculation is alright. This is what we have after bat up.
So we spend the 1.
That is a perfectly ordinary English sentence.
I love how our balance sheet has gross bat upkeep.
Okay.
It is pretty gross.
So hopefully the profit of the sales will be enough to replenish. Well, probably will be able to replenish our supplies.
Like,
So yeah,
I mean,
I'm
even
gonna
if it
say
ends up just being the cost
I
of
would.
rendering
I'm gonna vote for no artillery yet, and just go with the plate, and we'll get artillery at the town after this one.
How long are we staying in town?
Depends.
Because the instant that the time limit goes up, like I'm just bearing on to brag about the whole slave thing and the liberation and stuff.
Oh.
So I've been holding on to that. And it's
But
been
who-
hard.
Still don't get to brag
No, but
about
what's gonna? Yeah, no.
You don't get it.
The thing is,
Nobody
okay,
will believe you.
Here's the thing:
It
if
was
we,
the sweet lash.
the problem about telling people on that island that we had liberated the slaves is we have to part of that explanation is we went there to smuggle sugar. You see where this is a problem.
No, you're not telling. No. It's not even that. That's not even a part of the equation. You're not telling anyone. Period. I am the captain. Shut your fucking face.
Here, drink this.
Like
truly, a man of great charisma.
No.
Is that charisma 18? Yeah, it doesn't seem like it.
There's a reason for that. I am wanted. Okay? You don't get to talk about it. End of story.
The potential repercussions are...
And you wonder why everyone goes to me for charisma.
There's a luck point in it if you do.
There are other things you can do with charisma.
Here's the trade-off, basically.
There are other
There's a luck
things,
point
such
in
as
it.
intimidate. Yes.
And there's the downside of that is the...
Being well-known smugglers is not a good thing.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll leave out the smugglers and I'll pretend I'm the captain, so you're not lying.
Corey, here's where the problem is. If you do it, it's a positive for you and a negative for every single other person. Not neutral for everyone.
Well, kind of neutral for me.
Well, okay, neutral for one.
I don't think the
and a negative
gypsy
for the
cares.
ship.
I doubt Robin cares.
Have you heard of
But
the
the thing is, it
term
still
loose
affects the
lips
ship
sink
negatively.
ships?
Yes.
You heard of that?
It would actually happen.
Yes.
This is
Besides,
ill
your story
timed.
is we went and liberated the slave camp. Yeah, you can say we went there to smuggle sugar. You could also just say that was our cover for how we got on the island, so they wouldn't just shoot us.
We don't want to be well-known smugglers.
Well, you just leave out the part where you say you brought sugar back.
Or just say, okay, wait. People think there's a
sure.
ship called the Sweet Lash.
I'm sure
And then there's a ship
someone
here called
will
the
be like,
Duchess.
how did
Just
they make
say
any money on
that
this
you
trip?
were on the Sweet Lash. Don't talk about
Here's
us.
no,
Except
but
he
here's
left
the
with us,
thing.
and he was
Here's
part
the
of
thing.
an archery
Yeah.
tournament before leaving. People knew he was with us
People
before
tend to
we
go
left.
after people who blab.
But we know that people...
Also, important note though, keep in mind, when you hit a port, most of your crew does rotate around.
Yeah.
So it's not weird if he says he was on a different ship
If he,
at that point.
but if he
But
brings
he's on
attention
record
to,
of
if he
leaving
brings
with the
attention to
Duchess and
himself,
returning with the Duchess.
he's
So
bringing
he said
attention
during
to our
that time,
ship.
he was like,
Yes.
"Isn't
Isn't it your job to falsify records?
Yes, and I made our records
No.
perfect. If
No.
you
Yeah,
start,
very good.
If he's bringing
You have
attention
BC
to
25.
him, he's bringing attention to
You
the
have
ship.
gourmet
If he's
books.
bringing attention to the ship, he's bringing attention to me. That is bad overall.
here's the main difference I think between the last campaign.
I actually think we have a little bit of a buffer when it comes to that.
Yeah. Well,
I don't
want
wanna-
a significant portion of our crew is probably wanted somewhere.
I don't know, but like...
Whoa, they're not all scum and villainy. Just Shank and
I wish to
Kopesh.
point out, you only have 3 dots out of a possible 10 Skeldaggers. They're not like master criminals here.
No,
They're
but
all
I mean,
like,
They're the
Oh,
people
one of those
stupid enough
people.
to work for the Joker.
No, they're not that stupid. That would be Skeldagger 1, because they're capable of doing everything right.
can I update the sheet to reflect our new stats?
You just show it to him.
I already altered the artillery survival up by 1 and sailing up by 1.
Wait, how did artillery go up?
I thought you were buying artillery.
Yeah, everything went up to 2. Everything went up to 2.
That I've done.
Wait, if artillery is going up, that means we're buying the bow.
No.
No, that was
you're
that's a
increasing your
different
crew's
stat.
skill at shooting things.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which seems a little silly without having a bow, but
Arming the entire crew with bows costs money. Your crew does have a couple of bows, hence
Which is
they
accounted
can
for in
make
the archery.
artillery shots.
Oh, okay.
They're
Alright,
just
sorry.
not very good at it. You don't
Okay.
get an advantage.
Alright. By the way, can I make little
Food to
character
6.
cards for Shank and Kopesh and the gentleman that we rescued? I have this urge to like have like a growing deck of crew members
Yeah.
that can be
Okay.
removed when they die. Or
Here's
As
the
long
case.
as you also make the halfling Neelix and the high elf Janeway.
Yeah, I guess you guys already know. I was.
Who made them.
Do they? They do. No, you guys do already know what I'm wanted for, don't you?
Yeah.
I don't think you really told us.
Oh, yeah.
You haven't
actually,
told us
no,
jack
we don't
shit.
know.
Haven't I told you?
Pretty sure he has via table.
yeah,
Oh
you
yeah,
guys-
no, yes. Also,
3
he
or
was,
4
He was
times.
always making reference to how he was leading slave rebellions
Occasionally
before,
in
so we
some
know what we're
places
doing.
I am kidnapped.
You're a brown coat, right?
Other
Yeah.
places I'm
Basically.
wanted. Other places
Well, it
I'm
wasn't brown.
run
Morale
away.
It was
Five.
red.
Technically,
a bunch of
I'm an
redcoats.
enemy of the state.
Because red stands
One
for
of the
sulfur
states. Technically.
and burning.
So you were a communist revolution.
Yep. We're a bunch of commies. No, well, no. We were against fascism, so that's what we did.
I would also just like to state that this layout of dots for your ship status is a much more reasonable layout of dots to be having at any given time.
We don't want our stuff to drop.
Be thankful we didn't
So
make X.
here's the thing. If those people catch wind of me and are going to use me to find the higher ups of my
Okay, we'll save you.
my failed rebellion. No, of my failed rebellion. You know what they're going to come at us with? They're going to come at us with a bunch of cannons.
Yeah.
A bunch of them.
They will just hand
They
you
have
over.
cannons.
And here's the
Get the cannons.
Gold star.
okay.
Can I kill him?
Okay, no. Here's the
Here's you over.
here's the thing.
Wait,
Here's the
aren't they
thing.
gonna try to interrogate you first? Why would they want to blow up the whole ship?
I don't think.
They can risk. I mean, no, they can risk killing me.
You're dead.
Oh, okay.
On a cannon attack.
Yeah.
From the sulfur.
Exactly.
The sulfur owl, maybe. They just
Exactly. They have black powder generating factories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Essentially infinite. Okay?
Mechanically.
No.
Imagine how much that achieve.
Check it, but
Yeah. Guess
no,
what?
stop.
End of
Oh,
campaign.
a king's ransom.
Guess what, dude?
here's
End
the
of campaign. All right.
Not when we're level
3.
Okay, here's the thing. Here's the other thing. Okay.
God.
That's the other useful thing your crew
most-
skills gives me a good impression of is about what level your character should be.
Yeah. Most
I'm not doing that.
most games, our characters are together because we're all hired by somebody, or we're friends, or we have some other thing. In this particular instance, we're a crew that has a job. At the
I do
point
my
where you
job pretty
become
well.
a liability,
I'm a navigator.
Yes, but when you become a liability, you're going to get fired.
you're going. And fired may mean.
And by
Out of a ballista.
yeah, no, like, no, yeah, like, and by fired we mean lit on fire. And
Shot out
I
of
didn't
a
say we should do these things.
you said I'm going to talk about it and bring attention to
Just like
us.
It's just something I
He
thought.
asked if he could.
From an in-character point,
He said he wants to do that.
the,
He told you in advance he was planning to do that and solicited opinions.
we told him not to.
He's doing exactly what you asked him to do,
being
which is
very
ask
insistent.
first.
But the thing
being
is,
very
just like
insistent.
the thing
And I'm
is,
considering
in
reasons not to
character-
do it, and yet he still continues.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like,
That's
it
the
wouldn't
issue.
make sense
That's
for
what
us.
makes it an argument.
It shouldn't be an argument. Gosh.
I actually am going to give Betty a luck point. for
Do
all
we
that
want
paperwork
to
she
die?
did.
Yes.
I agree. There will be a time.
Oh, she never
she never got one.
one.
Getting here.
Oh, right.
For showing up.
For the game.
For presents.
I agree. There will be a time for glory.
Wait, did
Not
Glory
when
get
we're
one?
level 3.
Yeah.
There will be a
unfortunately-
time for glory when we're ready to face the Armada.
Yeah, and I totally
Single-handed.
support.
Bolivian cavalry
When
charge.
we get to the island full of military guys, maybe possibly then we'll reevaluate the situation. You can brag all you want about the stuff we do that's not illegal or likely to piss people off.
Or really, really, really attract attention.
Also, the Empire of Arcadia is to your west.
Okay.
It's further west than Lockstock even. It's like
Okay.
even further over there.
How are they affiliated?
It's a string of a large number of islands.
How are they
that
affiliated with the burning the sulfur?
They're not hostile, and they're not particularly allies either.
Neutral-ish, trading
Yeah.
partners-ish.
Occasionally they trade stuff.
Like information? Kill them all. I'm just kidding.
Like, think Age of Sail, Britain, Spain, France, and all that. They might not have been an outright war at a given time, but they don't like each other. They're sort of competing.
Fair enough.
Alright, so I think
So-
we're pretty much.
So no to that specific glory.
You might have actually
hire us,
unsolicited the
hire
Arcadian
space.
Empire for helping your rebellion. They probably didn't.
Yeah.
We're probably ready to shove off then, I guess. We've got our cargo, we've prepared our ship, we've replaced our crew.
Getting a load of sails.
You know, it's a
How
great
much
way to
Lucre
save
do we
Lucre
have
by-
left?
5 excluding a
Yeah, it's 5, but that's after a
After
possible. Like I
6.
overestimated for bat.
Does that
I said
include
7
name
for
tag?
bat.
7. So it's 12. We have 12 left.
Okay.
It's a great way to save Lucre. Kill the bat.
That's actually a good question.
Killing the bat?
No, personally buy stuff.
Which?
Vivian asked how
If we
personally.
want to personally buy stuff, how would we go about it?
I really probably should get off my ass and come up with some sort of exchange rate between gold and lucre.
Well, it would vary.
we don't really need that, do we? I mean, personally buy stuff for the ship or personally buy stuff for yourself?
Well, can we assume that we can
But
pick up?
technically,
Well, you could ask him.
buy stuff.
He's been perhaps buying things. You might have noticed him in town. He was buying arrows from some shady looking guy.
Can we assume that basically our own wages from a ship?
How did you buy
Maybe
stuff?
that was what we should do. Whatever the net profit of our thing was, we get a certain amount of gold, like that, based on based on our amount of
each
profit.
character has a starting set of gold. You can either choose from a fixed amount or you can roll the dice.
I can't remember what the average buy cost or
After
something
that,
was.
I ended up getting 5 gold.
The only reason I'm not really motivated to make an exchange rate is because gold isn't very useful.
Honestly, when I made my character, I looked at what the basic weapons for. I
The
didn't
thing
even
is,
bother
because in this setting, magic items don't exist. You can't buy healing potions, which in normal 13 days is the only thing you ever really spend money on.
The only thing that was worthwhile with the gold that we bought last campaign was the dagger.
Flowers.
Yeah, and that was literally just the thing I made up, where you were able to buy a magic item, which normally you can't even do.
Yeah. So
I would like it for from a resource management thing. Like, I love that in games where you have to make sure you have enough food and water and stuff like that. But we're already doing that.
Exactly.
So
Actually, I have an idea for gold. You know that thing you roll for how much gold you get? You roll a
Based on your
d6
class?
and that's how much gold you start with. How about that's how much gold you get each time you go to port as spending money?
Sure.
Yeah.
I have no problem with this, considering you're still not going to have anything to spend it on of particular importance.
yeah.
You can have
Right
10
now our-
million gold, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, right now our personal wealth doesn't really matter as much.
Yeah, it's just not terribly relevant for this campaign.
Give me 10 million in gold and I'll buy every single cat they have.
To feed to the bat?
Now, are we talking regular cats or certified demon-free cats? 'Cause those are pricey.
The regular ones.
Right. I'll just roll this many demons.
good. Are we gonna get a rock again?
There's 3 rocks and some succubus lady.
Not again.
That's okay. We need a cat to deal with vermin.
Ship cat is a decent.
We have a bat.
Actually-
I'm sure the bat will
Yes.
Yeah, that's actually
Suddenly-
true. Your
suddenly
bat
our-
would basically function in that role already.
We are
Also,
around
your bat can get rid of unwieldy cats that show up on board.
We got a cat, it disappeared.
We had one for a while.
But then we got a bat and something.
I kind of
including every cat on the port.
like the idea that everybody calls the bat by a different name, which is why it only responds to the whistles.
Can we ship up?
Yeah, I think we're good
Yeah,
to ship
let's
off.
I'm pretty sure I taught the bat
So we
to
didn't buy
respond to
bows or
Clarence.
the ship name.
Just for the
I'm
record,
the one
we
that
do have
trained
a
it.
new tag. We bought.
Oh wait, I thought we did buy the changing tags.
We did, which is why we're down to 5, not 6.
Yes.
Did you buy the just regular?
Just
the
the
swap outs.
swap out. The ones that are marginally less suspicious.
And we're throwing them in the
Marginal.
hidey hole behind the bat.
But no, here's the thing though. From Beatrice's point
What
of
if we
view,
put
she
them
sees the
around
bat
the
as
bat?
being an incredibly, potentially valuable asset, and it's coming out of the ship's upkeep and that kind of stuff, right? So
We put
the
Kevin
bat is a
Bacon in
ship
front.
asset. She would absolutely
Kevin
100% for sure make sure that bat is not exclusively
did you
loyal
see
to
my
you
email
or
for name
mostly loyal to
suggestions?
you. She would make sure
Otherwise,
that.
you'd be paying for it.
The shining star of the sweet.
Which you can't afford to do. You would have no bat. It is a ship asset that she would be making sure that it is showing no particular attachment to any one
by the
hand or
way,
the other.
for helping with sailing, I talked to the people in the port and the new people coming in, and just kind of seeing what kind of the shipping conditions are like coming from that area.
Are we gonna do the thing where we roll and only tell if we succeed?
Tell me regardless.
Okay.
But feel free if you guys are planning, for example, to run your net during this trip or anything like
At
that.
present, no.
You can also, I was just going to say, if you're doing that, you can also explain how you would be helping with something in that regard.
Also, it's basically me doing a streetwise check. 21, and that's 21 without any backgrounds.
So,
Stormy.
All right.
Delightful.
So for me, I'll just roll a general charisma at stone, and if I succeed, I'll sing a song for you.
Sure.
Alright. 26. Alright. I probably should have sung this one as we were leaving that colony. Who's the guys, who's the talk of the town? With the restless sun, you won't find him fooling around. They keep the varmints on the run, boy. They keep the varmints on the run. They're the talk of the West.
I'll accept that. Ended a little abruptly, but I'll accept
I'm
that.
sorry.
May I, sorry, just make a suggestion that everyone who is sitting on an edge make sure they are yay far away from the end to actually give the people on the end some space to have their stuff on the table.
No, crowd them further.
Sorry, I'm getting into your bubble space now.
I'm fine. I'm sitting as far left as I can.
Yeah.
Yeah, my personal space is being invaded.
I just noticed that Vivian was having trouble getting her dice on the table.
Invasion of space.
Alright, act advantage.
Is it from space?
Yes, I know you can, but
Technically it is. 'Cause all space
Yes.
is space.
But according to Portal, there's nothing in space.
No, it's not outer space. That's different.
Space!
Everything's
in space! It's why it's space! Anyway, you four still have stuff to do on your
Alright. I proceed to check the teeth and gums of every new crew member.
Watch them for the
I
plane.
even actually catch a few who were coming in with oral fever, and I managed to kick them off.
Coral fever, that's now in the notes. Well done, Daniel.
So,
I-
now I just know if there's a disease that comes outbreaks, I have a name for it.
17.
By the way, is there anybody in the setting who
You actually do find a guy, yeah, who's got some sort of weird barnacle-like growths on his skin. Like,
Oh, God,
he
It's
was
a really
trying,
bad rash.
he was trying to convince you it was just eczema, but you're like, eczema doesn't have, like, teeth.
That hasn't been discovered yet.
It's Davy Jones. Yeah, Davy Jones crew members.
But the guy who's just one big barnacle.
Sure, that horrifying. It's
I guess I'm gonna actually try to teach some other crew hands just how to handle the rigging. In case your buddy got somehow incapacitated or decapitated.
Remember, it's heave,
Safety
then ho. Don't mix that up.
roll away.
Your
That's a sour
backgrounds.
face.
Look,
Background, your stat, your level.
Be probably charisma.
and your incremental advance if you took it.
15.
You pulled what we call a college, the bare minimum.
Hey man, D
That's why
stands for
Polish
degree,
starts
okay?
with C. Alright, before we headed out, I made sure that our maps were up to date. One particular map, the one that was actually going to be used, had this area which had this monster drawn all over it. But in the new map, that's been gone, so it turns out that place was completely safe. But it's this other area that was thought was safe. That is now as the monsters.
I'm really tempted to give you an intelligence check, but allow you to use any negative modifier as a bonus. It would be an intelligence check, yeah.
That's a 4 on the die.
Yeah.
Good. That's an appropriate 4 on the die.
So we're gonna meet monsters. That's good.
What does that actually add up to?
Well, at
Let's
least
see.
it's
That ups to 2.
It adds up to 2? Wow.
I know, I said, so this is an intelligence roll, right?
Yeah.
Not wisdom?
Nope.
Okay, what would I
Certainly
use?
not wisdom.
it's something.
It's navigation work for this?
Yep.
Yeah, navigation. Okay, so 13.
You want to add a d6 in there?
Sure.
He rolled 14.
Oh my god.
Did you get the
sadness.
+1 to skills?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
So no, you don't even get to complain about it. It's sad.
Fate is a
Rough.
cruel mistress.
Yup.
So, Beatrice,
There's
abhors.
still the option of explaining how you averted calamity.
Beatrice actually studied this area of sea. I was about to say space. In
This area of deep space. It
in,
is technically an area of space. We've established this.
This is now Spelljammer.
in school, so she was pretty familiar with it and who had been in control of it previously and how the matches and how there had been this whole slew of false maps that had been printed in order to mess up the rival merchants and stuff that were going through the area, and she got really good at identifying them. She actually had to do a whole project on it one semester, and so thankfully.
I just love that you had semester. It's very cute.
So, yeah, this is not what I was originally going to do. Originally I was going to do a thing with the bat, but this is more fun.
I'll beat the fake maps in the back.
I'll save the thing for the bat for later. So she was able to identify because he's got those conflicting maps there, she was able to identify one of them as being one of these false maps that was used to throw other people off. And I rolled a 10 on the die, which, well educated, would apply to this. So that brings up to 16 plus intelligence, so 24.
Did you have +1?
That was including the +1. Otherwise, my well educated would only be 5.
Ready. You have 5 dice. Are you just going to do all sailing, or are you actually going to try and use the net?
I don't think so.
People sailing is good for them.
Because
You are sailing through, I will tell you, as you're sailing, the weather's really miserable.
Yeah,
It is
we have-
pouring rain, lightning storms are common,
We have enough food to get us there.
cyclones can be occasionally seen on the horizon. Like, this is a miserable stretch
This is-
of ocean.
This is keep the bat inside weather. Let's just. Yeah.
It's very much keep the bat inside weather.
All weathers keep the bat inside.
So you're going all sailing?
Yeah.
Alright, you get up there. So it will take you, I guess you can really use the 3. So it's going to take you the expected time, so 5 weeks.
Okay.
And you are going to lose 1 ship condition and 1 morale,
Okay.
as your ship is brutally buffeted by enormous waves. At one point your ship gets lifted on a wave, deposited on what you realize is a section of reef, and actually gets beached until another wave comes and moves you off of it.
It's like, well, that's convenient.
We now have a colony of crabs living in our hull.
Which is with the bats. Oh yeah, we can eat this. Ooh.
In fact, there's bats and crayfish that are
Fun fact.
crayfish and lung.
I had actually, one of my ideas was to have survival checks be a required thing to avoid having vermin and stuff come on the ship, but I'm saying that's basically what the bat's gonna do. Hunt vermin. That's its job.
I just feel like the bat just gonna be like creeping through, just like, oh, this little bat paws, like,
Shuffles along with its big burlappy wings.
I see it like crawling on the ceiling.
Attach her 360 and looks at you.
And I can imagine since this thing's in the hold, which is probably where Beatrice spends a great deal of her time, like, because she doesn't really like the bat. To be perfectly clear, she will never get on that thing unless it is like a absolute life or death situation if she's directly ordered to. So I imagine with the bat, like, she kind of like, just kind of always just like giving their eyes, just like talks to it. It's like, no.
Actually, I have a preemptive battle plan. When we're attacked by another ship, before anyone gets on the bat, I have an idea. Get the bat to grab the monk guy by the shoulders and drop him onto the other ship.
So you just single-handedly get rid of everybody.
Because you're not much of a ranged fighter, right?
I'm the melee fighter.
Yeah.
Fast bat special.
Okay, Wolverine.
I feel like her and the bat would have this agreement. Like,
He
I
is
stay away
basically
from monsters.
Wolverine. He's Wolverine with crutches instead of claws. He's equally devastating.
And as much of a drunk.
He also has memory problems, although for other reasons.
Yeah, he doesn't have Wolverine's metabolism.
I've noticed
He's a
how
13th age character. He does have a healing effect.
like a whole bunch of crazy shit as weapons. So the next
That'd
battle,
be
I got
metabolism.
something. I can't wait to see what you're able to do with it. And I pulled out 2 spoons.
Are they rusty spoons?
No, they're just spoons.
Gouge out his eyes with a spoon.
Do you give these to me as I'm like eating soup one day?
No.
That's an order.
I'm like, I already have one.
No, not food. Just like random. It's like
Play knifey,
like
spotty,
about
buffalo.
4
How about a
in the
ladle?
afternoon.
Yeah, ladle would be
A
interesting.
ladle is a bit more. You can spin it.
That'd be kind of
You
funny.
hand me
anything
these
bad
2
happen while we're
spoons,
sailing, other
and there's a
than-
twinkle in my eye, and I go, do you have more of these? Maybe a bag?
This is my spoon. Like,
What are you?
it's worth it. Take it.
What are you, the tick?
This will be made clear later.
Are you just gonna hit people with a sack full of spoons?
I get +6 on range attacks. These are my shurikens.
Sharpen the handles into points.
And these were your personal spoons, not the
nice
ship
spoon.
spoons? Okay.
Remember, the shuriken is a ninja's hand, not his fist.
You have a spife?
But they're my fists.
Anyway, as you come into the area of Lockstock Island itself, it is drizzling, and let's see what time of day it is. 3 or
I'll actually be on deck when we get there, no matter what the weather is.
As you approach the island itself, the central bay of the place, kind of like that, sense of a shape, you're approaching it this way. So
There's Lockstock and Matt's barrel.
That's not even the worst, like, crap.
It would work better if there were two small islands. It's gonna be two smoking barrels with like two swords and chimneys on it. I kind of wish I'd done that now.
Canon accepted.
Fuck it, there is. There's two of them now.
Retcon?
There. There's a main fort. There's a little observation post. There's a third smaller island.
It's actually so small. There's only a single little cabin on it.
It's just a little tower. Anyway, as you approach, you can see there are a number of, about 6 you count, patrol ships that have the Arcadian Empire's colors on their flags. They're just patrolling the area. One of them actually starts sailing towards you as you approach. You get hailed by some people waving flags on deck. They direct you to a town on the mainland itself. You are directed to travel to what they refer to as the stockyard for inspection. Your reading of this is that the stockyard is just what they call that town.
Okay. Sounds a little...
I like this place.
Well, it's a lumber town, basically. As you approach the town itself...
Oh, did we know whether or not we're doing the wrong thing? Are we doing the wrong thing? Were we?
We're doing the one.
Well, no.
No, we're doing completely legal.
We're
business.
determining that, no, if we're determining that here, depending if we feel like purchasing it and then reselling it.
Also, what name do we use to go in?
I think we're the Duchess right now.
Duchess is fine.
Staying regular name.
You're transporting legitimate cargo. Why would you use a fake name?
Well, I wanted Shining Star for when we're the good up and heroes.
We made a fake persona for all the good stuff we do.
So like the Duchess is totally neutral.
I think Duchess...
Yeah, the Duchess is just a smuggling ship.
I think Duchess is fine for trade and smuggling, and for...
Far be it for me to quote Brendan, but you never want any of your ships to be adjudicated as a smuggling ship.
Exactly.
They should never have that reputation for any reason.
That's why we have the fake names.
Yep.
So that we can ditch any.
Right. As you sail into the town proper, you are docked along here. A group of soldiers actually hop up onto your boat and inform you that they need to make an inspection of the cargo holds. Whatnot.
Beatrice is absolutely she.
Be warned, there is a bat.
And no, not bat. Bat.
Yeah.
Beatrice.
If you mention and you have a dire bat, they actually don't seem that surprised or perplexed by that. It's just like a mild eyebrow. It's like, whatever.
Beatrice's like, this way.
The guy inspecting your ship's name is Private Benjamin.
How much can you bench, man?
Bench. Not Benjamin.
I heard Benjamin. Oh my.
Bench a man. That's where you lift a guy and bench press him.
Yes.
While he's bench pressing.
It's the ultimate workout.
It's like when you try and do push-ups while someone's sitting on your back. Anyway.
He's carrying weights too.
He's just also has dumbbells.
Yeah, she's like, what's this? Walk over there, her clipboard.
Probably will be
I have
tending to the bat, make sure it's working.
I have a crew and cargo manifest here.
He will take a look through those. He gives them actually a surprisingly careful inspection, considering you've gone through inspections before.
I mean, usually just.
However, the ones you've done were at Brighton, where it's a bit more lax. This is, a military man doing inspection.
Well, the records would be accurate and,
They are
reasonable.
I find this normal. That's how you do a proper inspection.
Yeah, it is.
Good job.
And actually, her Beatrice's bureaucracy, she'd appreciate this too.
You can give me some sort of wisdom-y insight check.
They're looking for something specific. I got a 15 on the dice. That's probably going to go well for us. Well-educated or, bureaucracy.
This is more reading the guy's mood.
Bureaucracy than she'd be used to dealing with. Or actually, no. If it's his job and if it's work-related, then it would apply. But if it's not, okay, then it wouldn't apply.
Personal.
Then 21.
That's
22.
good enough.
Sorry.
He seems a bit distracted as he's doing about his job. He does the paperwork right, and he does do an inspection of the sails. He unfolds them, sort of looks around to make sure there's nothing wrapped up in them. He does look around, tap on
add
some of the
further
walls.
distraction by asking about his work.
Can we find out why he's distracted first?
But like whenever he's not directly engaged in any kind of inspecting part, he seems sort of lost in thought about something. Apart from that,
I just slap him on the back with my gypsy voice like, "Hey, how's it like over here? I've never been to this island before."
Oh, well, I mean, it's not bad, I suppose. It's a bit low-key. It's just sort of a frontier town. I mean, there's not a whole lot to do.
You look beat. Is the wife giving you in trouble?
Oh,
I got something for that.
Woo! Robinille's eyes started glowing.
Down boy.
When has marriage ever
Now,
stopped?
when you say down boy, do you put it him or in his pants?
I was like, it's actually sort of be like as
Down
soon,
boy, you too.
I feel like as soon as the officer's back turns, she just like smacks Robbie on the back of the head, just like Gibbs smacks him.
We now refer to Robbie in the plural. Cut it out, you two.
That's hilarious.
Works fairly well, actually. He'll tell you that for the island itself, there's not a whole lot you can tell you about the jungle of the island. Most of it is jungle and it hasn't really been surveyed properly. As far as they're aware, it's not inhabited, except by themselves. They're using it as just a source of lumber and to keep an eye on that lightning tower thing.
Maybe somebody could engage in a conversation regarding aforementioned lightning tower.
Oh, he's currently
Yes.
So, what's with that tower thing?
It's the brass tower. It's some kind of old, crazy magic thing.
Ooh, scary.
Yeah.
Voodoo.
Oh god. As for what we can tell, the sailors who have gone near the place say that either lightning hits the tower all the time, or that the tower is throwing lightning into the clouds. We think it's just keeping
Superstition.
We think it's just keeping that storm going all the time. Most of the government's actually just forbidden people from sailing to the island, but I mean, no one patrols the area, so.
Oh, okay.
Well, say if
It's sort of a hollow gesture of like, don't do that, but we're not actually going to watch to see if you do because we don't want to go near it. It's full of lightning.
Let's say if some good Samaritans happen to stop the storms going around this area, would there be,
Huh? What are you talking about?
I'm sorry, my friend here is stupid.
He's distracted by your symmetrical face. that would be how
particularly
vicious
the
it is.
cheeks there.
Cannons. So, I'm a doctor myself. Has anybody had any troubles, either medical or with other people?
Well, if you're a doctor, you could probably get some work in the lumber camp. People are always injuring themselves.
What kind of injuries?
Wood cutting, mining. There's a lot of the prospectors fall, take tumbles.
Alright.
Try not to have building collapse on you this time.
If you want to do it, like, if you wanted to investigate something, you could try to figure out what's been abducting people.
Abducting.
Wait, abducting people?
People have
Yeah.
gone missing?
Well, you should have told me before!
People go missing in the woods all the time, but I mean, that's... You're going out into the jungle, like, you can fall off a cliff or whatever.
This you can do.
But more recently, a couple of people have gone missing from the town itself. We haven't been able to find them.
That is
Wonderful!
suspicious.
We will find them!
If you want to do that, go right ahead.
It's what we do.
If it wasn't completely out of time period
too
right now,
enthusiastic there.
would have said something along the lines of
I don't know what
don't write checks. What is it?
we've
Don't let your
actually-
mouth write checks you can't cash or something like that.
It's don't let your mouth write
Thank
checks
you.
your ass can't cash.
Saying-
your body can't cash.
Yeah, basically. He'll tell you that as
We'll
far
give
as
it a
they're
try.
aware, they're probably just accidental deaths or conflicts with somebody in town murdering each other. They've been trying to look
Yeah, just
into it, but they
murders.
haven't really gotten anywhere. And as a precautionary measure, they've imposed a restriction on people going into the woods at night.
Okay.
You're not supposed to go into the woods at night.
Would we need a permit?
No, you're just not supposed to go travel in the woods at night.
Okay, then.
It's just a moratorium on
Is
it.
there a particular region in which these people are disappearing?
Not as far as I know. I mean, it's just the woods. I mean, once
That's
they
a
go
very
in there
long-
it's mostly prospectors, the guys who are looking for ore seams more than the woodcutting guys. But apart from that, we haven't really seen much of a pattern.
Well, we have been at sea for over a month. It does sound like a
You
rather
can give me
interesting
you and Sangamas can
sidetrack.
give me the wisdom check.
18 on the die.
17 on the die.
Nice.
So that'll be 21 for me, unless as a con man, I'm used to seeing people alive and trying to shift out of things.
Sure.
24.
So 26.
26? Alright. You're the one who actually starts to catch something. There's more to this. There's something else he knows that he's probably been told he shouldn't talk about.
But
And it seems to be bothering him that he's not allowed to talk about it.
if you'll finish your inspection, we are actually just about to sit down for a meal. Would you care to join us?
I'm going off duty in about an hour. I could do it then.
To join the crew so we can get him drunk and get him talking about
He's actually blushing a little. Thanks for asking him out.
Every one of our party is going to hook up with an NPC.
My dream is that everyone in the party except Robbie gets laid on Lockstock. If that happens, I would be delighted.
Keep playing it up. Go along with it.
I will throw every obstacle in your path to make this happen.
excellent. If we just make sure you check in with somebody when you arrive back at the ship.
You can use my quarters.
Here, take this. You will need this.
You can use my bed. That's just creepy, man.
No, I have a table in there. I'm assuming it's a proper captain's quarters.
Eat on that table again!
I'm sorry.
Just do it on the back table.
I may eat with the crew, but there should be a dining table in there.
That you never use.
This is where she has the clipboard. Here, hold this, would you? Hands him the clipboard.
You grab it with one arm, just smack it back and forth.
I feel like
Sorry, you take that more back. I needed both hands for that.
I'm saying this not out loud. It's in my
I look at the
head.
clipboard. What's on it?
Further
In your
away.
head. Well, no, I mean like
Which they can
he
hear.
can hear it.
Yes, he can. You're saying it at the table.
No, like the dude, the guard.
Oh, Benjamin. No,
Yeah,
he
no,
can't
it'd be
hear
as soon as Benjamin's got just like Gibbs.
Yeah, he tells you that the local tavern is called the Trusty Machete.
Delightful. I absolutely love that.
The Prochetti.
As opposed to the rusty machete?
Yes, it's trusty. It works. It's been maintained properly. It's always there, and it's a cut above the rest.
Yeah, but in the bad side of town, there's another bar called the Rusty Machete.
Don't get them mixed up.
Yeah, you don't want to go there. All right. So your ship is given a pass if you would like to sell off your sails.
Probably roll
You can actually do that with Benjamin himself.
Oh,
If you tell him that you're intending them to be used by the military ships.
I shall do so.
Chat him up a bit more.
Take this, it's perfume.
Your base is 20 for a 5-week trip.
Okay.
They are non-local, which would normally be +1. However, because they are actually sails instead of just cloth, they're +2 because they're an uncommon good. You get +2 because they are out of stock on it, and they do need them.
Okay.
There's also, actually, that would be higher.
So 20 plus 2 plus 2 so far, right?
Yep. +3 for the danger posed in traveling to Lockstock through the storms.
Yes.
3 is the ranking for actual risk of destruction of your ship. Benjamin will actually tell you, since you seem to be nice guys, that the Commodore is kind of in a bad place right now because his superiors don't really believe how bad the storms here get, and so they think that like tribals or people are stealing materials from the fort, and it's making him look bad, and they aren't actually shipping enough out here. So if you can actually, he's basically asking if you're willing to doctor some records. Like, he's trying to be really coy about it, like assuming you'd be against this.
My word.
But he's like, but you
really
you
against
guys
it,
have
but
sort of
willing.
befriended him at this point, so he's like trying to be kind of as sly as he can, but you can tell he's really not built for sly.
Pretend you're against it, but willing.
Beatrice said, well, you know, I have quite a bit of experience dealing with... I'm not saying doctored records here.
He's sort of hinting that, like,
Quite a bit of experience dealing
technically-
with bureaucracies and stuff, and I can probably find a way of communicating your troubles. If you give me your records, I can probably make sure I put together...
He's basically hinting that technically they're not supposed to accept, like, sales or materials like that from people who aren't actually members of their military suppliers. So it's like, are
sure
you
we
willing
can-
to claim you are one?
I'm sure if I talk to spirits, I'll be able to work
There's
out the
some risk
appropriate paperwork.
involved.
If you talk to the Commodore.
Carefully not saying anything that actually is incriminating.
If you actually
Ship name. I don't. All right,
the
whatever.
Duchess, what about it?
I just don't want that name on the record because we're going to be typically
Guys,
using it.
don't be too picky about that.
Anyway,
right
let's just
now.
see how
Well,
this plays out. So
considering what
far, I
he
haven't done
told-
anything illegal.
Considering what he told you was that the Commodore is looking to do this, the Commodore is the highest ranking person here.
Yeah. Here's the
That's,
thing.
that's like if you're an English citizen and the King of England asks you to break the law for him.
I'm just worried about the
hoping-
marshal.
Well, yeah,
I'm hoping with-
technically there's a problem.
I'm
worried
hoping
about-
But who's gonna get reported
I'm worried
to?
about the
Him.
admiral. I'm worried about the admiral.
what I'm
Coming
hoping
by.
here.
He might at some point.
What I'm hoping here is I'll be able
You
to
can
look
give
at
me
their.
a wisdom check, actually. Actually, no check required. This place is stormy and raining all the time.
No.
Any admirable who can possibly avoid coming here for any reason is going to.
And here's the thing. I'm hoping with
This place
Beatrice's
is miserable.
particular skill set, she'll be able to find some kind of rule, like some code in their rule book that will serve as a loophole.
The
that
War
she'll-
Measures Act. We've declared war on the Brass Tower for the next week.
Yeah, something where they can basically have had them being like contracted for a short term. They'll have no
Give me
lasting effect.
actually a charisma check. Bureaucracy would apply.
All right,
That looks like a single digit number.
that was a 9
Oh, that's not so bad.
plus Christmas plus 11, so 20.
20? Oh, yeah. He can actually get you a pass to go to Fort Locke itself to meet with Commodore Oliver Harrison regarding trade agreements.
She'll do that.
As to the sale of these sails,
That also means you can stop in, because you're currently stopped at the stockyard, so you could pick up booze and try and make that run at this point.
It's like,
I feel like maybe breaking as few laws as
You've
possible
got a
right
pass
now.
to visit the fort.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! He already wants us to fix documents. Maybe we can
somehow
sell the booze to him directly.
Maybe we can somehow
Probably
get it
not
to
a
make
great
it-
idea.
can we finish selling the sails first?
However,
Give me
it might be a one-time
intelligence check.
pass.
No, I mean like working out the price.
That's
Can I
14.
make an intelligence check?
Does he see our still?
no.
Does he see our still?
Yeah,
They
but
would've
it
seen it
doesn't
first.
have booze in it.
Yes, no, that's fine. It's like, yeah, water.
Suspicious, but that's about it. You
What
wanna,
ingenuity.
I'll add a d6 to it.
You succeed. Because he was 15.
Oh.
Hence why I suggested it, because spending it means you're just going to succeed. Yeah. The Commodore would be opposed to you selling booze to his soldiers. However, if you cook books for him and you get caught with the rum running, you could just hold that open. Like,
let's
hey,
not
maybe I
blackmail the
report
military.
this book to your admiral.
And then he's like,
Before
maybe
you
I
go
sink your
arresting us.
ship while you're in my bay.
How about I've already lodged documents in someone in town?
It's like,
Lie.
buddy, we're helping you out with this. How about you help us
Also,
offload something?
he would have to write a report about why he blew up your ship,
Yeah.
and that would lead to an investigation.
Okay, well let's put this to a vote then. Who wants to smuggle the rum?
I vote make
We have a
more
good
money.
avenue.
I want to smuggle
Robinell
rum.
cannot put his hand up fast enough.
We don't even have to bribe him. We just
I'm
say,
opposed
hey,
to blackmail.
could you help us out? We help
Okay.
you out.
Well, the majority rules. Beatrice
with
doesn't agree, but she'll go with it. Mostly. Just horse.
You have a stack of those at this point. You have 3.
You picked the best drive.
I probably think
Well,
one
the
of
thing
the
is,
worst.
but the thing is, it only works as long as she's doing something she doesn't want necessarily. She wouldn't necessarily do above her own
How
accord.
much is like
So-
a lucre of rum?
Basically, a cask of it is a lucre. You can buy up to 2 casks to try and do this.
I'm just wondering, like,
I
if
will
I
also
could
say, Vivian, exploration, you get one because you are visiting the West.
Yeah.
And Daniel, I think one of your motivations here is you're opposed to boredom.
Wanderlust, yes.
So,
Excitement and exploration, positive, boredom, negative.
I navigated through a bitchin' storm.
That's true, actually. Yeah.
congratulations.
It's an always storm.
Yeah.
What I was
Right, and I'm
asking
pretty
was,
confident
smuggle
at
it in,
present
like,
at my
a
ability
guitar?
to talk up
Probably not.
our value, our cost here as well.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll buy a couple casks. That'll cost a couple lucre. So we'll go down to 3 for that, or 10. No, by the way, you forgot to subtract the bat upkeep.
Yeah, so I'm just doing there.
Okay.
So you're buying 2?
Yeah.
So presumably, what will be going on while I'm talking to the Commodore? Some people, I'm pointing at Robbie, run a distraction while the rest of you try and offload that rum.
Sure. So you postpone your date with Benjamin until you can get the delivery done. He's fine with that. He seems okay with waiting till like tomorrow or something like that. He does tell you that if you're going to come back late, most of the townspeople won't open their doors after nightfall due to fears of abduction. So if it ends up getting really late, you might be better off just sleeping in your ship anchored in the harbor.
What if we go into town at night and
know.
look for the
Let's cross that bridge. We'll also look like abductors, though.
Fair enough.
We are, especially if we send people out there to die about that, capable of kicking people out. Only so suspicious.
Yes. All of a sudden there will be rumors of an empire.
We'll put that rum in the secret compartment. Yes.
No, we're gonna keep it on deck.
Alright, so you guys are sailing into Fort Locke itself. This would be time for a skullduggery check. So how are you guys assisting with skullduggery as your or averting calamity with skullduggery?
What exactly are we trying to get around?
You were trying to get around the fact that you are going to get your hold inspected again, more carefully this time, before you're allowed onto Fort Locke. The other thing you're trying to get around is the fact that you're trying to move the barrels of rum out of your smuggling hold while they're also moving sails out of your cargo hold. So you're going to have to basically time when only members of your crew are in the hold to move stuff out and then maybe wrap it in something.
May I suggest that someone's thing might be that they get the bat agitated while they're doing their inspection, so they don't want to get in with the...
Oh, I got it. At just the right moment, I'll come out and go, you might want to get out. Clarence just got loose. It'll just be a moment.
No, because we want him in the enclosure, because the thing's in the enclosure.
The ship already has a storage of drinking water. If it's the same kind of barrel as the barrels the drinking water would be in, I just say I'm getting those refilled.
Yeah, when you're getting it off. When you're getting it off, that's good.
Yeah, you could give me a strength check to carry full barrels of rum and act as though they're empty with the weight. Just this is totally a light thing. Well, in reality, you're like...
I like that. I like that a lot.
I'm gonna feel this in the morning. I get a 12.
Do I have to make you a deeper box?
I will say you're working on a DC 20.
Yeah.
Ha! 21!
There you go.
Look at how light these barrels are!
He stumbles a bit, and a guy comes to say, "Hey, buddy, you're up."
To help steady him, right?
No, he stumbles just for a second. A guy has, "Oh, is everything all right there?" And I go, "Oh, no, he's fine. Those barrels are completely empty, don't you know?"
You distract them every time you get to
I try to distract him persuasively.
I give one of the barrels a light toss as a
Charisma, Dex, or Con here. What kind of distraction is Robin engaging in? One of them's a harder check.
I guess I'm going with charisma.
Alright, so the easier non-seducing check.
Yeah. Oh, would that be dexterity?
Okay. Just guilt him. Be like, don't you know anything about boats?
Okay, that's 15.
DC's 20. This is considered a champion tier environment.
Okay, so... Oh, right. Plus 1 skill 16, so...
My skill point go.
You need 20, so...
Are you adding any of your backgrounds to this?
Clever Casanova?
Yeah, that would be if you were trying to seduce them.
Damn.
We may have lost a poker chip.
Just spend your...
I'm debating about whether I should get a reroll or d6.
Well, what'd you get on your
6.
20?
So then you have to roll a 5 or a 6.
Yeah.
15.
Yeah.
Seriously?
When did you roll natural?
8. It's almost the same.
Yeah. 6 and 1 half a dozen of the other.
Reroll.
Do it. Epic fumble or...
You could just re-roll and go for the seduction, the harder one.
I'll go for seduction.
Alright, so you can add Clever Casanova, but the DC goes to 25.
Alrighty.
But that's even worse.
Crit,
Clever Casanova
crit.
is +5.
Crit.
+4.
Oh, that actually would be worse. Probably
Yeah.
don't want to try it then.
Yeah. I will not try that.
Hey, there you
17.
go.
Alright.
17 on that. What does that add up to?
That would be 25.
You could have gone for it.
Yeah. Can I still go for it?
No.
That would have jumped to 24 though, because your thing would have gone down, right?
So that's 2 of you. Rest of you.
Beatrice, whenever it looks like when she needed to cause a convenient distraction, basically she just found something about the paperwork that she was able to, like, I have questions about this, or be like, oh, I think there's a problem here. I think you've
Or
misspelled
you're distracting
something.
the official by pointing out where the loopholes you're exploiting are.
Because
Like,
you
okay.
are doing this,
Yeah.
right?
And trying to explain it without actually explaining it.
Also, you're talking to the Commodore, who is a gnomish man. He has a scar running over one eye with an eye patch over it.
Does the eye patch have a scar on it?
It has a symbol of the Arcadian Navy on it. It's a government-issued eye patch.
I got 17 on the die, so
Probably going to work.
yes. Bureaucracy would definitely apply to this,
Yeah.
which brings it to 22 without skills and without my, so 28.
28? Ridiculously hard. Nice. Yeah. Not only are you willing to cook books, and you actually get the Commodore willing to do this, but most importantly, you actually find a legit loophole to exploit.
She's like, I've done absolutely nothing
Now,
illegal here.
Up to you.
Neither are you.
Whether or not you actually tell him about this loophole until he whether or not he finds the rum. If he doesn't find the rum, then you tell him about it.
Yeah, I'll
If he does, you claim it's highly illegal what he's doing.
I'll just make sure the process takes long enough that
Yeah.
the rum business is finished before she finishes.
And there is actually a provision which is basically the equivalent of a War Measures Act, which says in times of war or calamity, you are allowed to accept supplies from outside contractors, and the storm would qualify. Because it's actually a provision that basically says, like, in the event of sorcery or witchcraft, it applies, and you can make the case that the storms come from the tower, which is magical in nature.
She'll make sure she to make sure that we're doing this correctly. I will need to see your books and your records and just your actual books. Make sure that everything is copacetic.
Did you get a word of the day calendar?
It's your normal vocab. Sorry. Someone who knows. Okay. Do we actually want them to carry the sails faster or slower? Like, I guess faster.
You probably want to get them out of the hold faster,
Yeah, and then slow them down after.
But slow down, they're carrying them around.
You want to take as much of their attention as possible.
Yeah, so once we get out of the ship, I just be like, okay, we need more hands on deck to help. And it's like, yeah, because the ship's tight and we could fit people in. But now that we're out in the open, get more hands. Like, no, you're doing it wrong.
Going for charisma?
No.
Then stop suggesting charismatic charisma.
Okay, fine. Yeah, okay, I'll try charisma. It's my second highest, why not?
I usually do some things that actually use my lower skills.
And I'm creating a distraction because I'm helping them take Rob.
Would you like a suggestion?
Yeah.
You could go dexterity stealth, sneak off somewhere, and create a calamity, and try to avoid being caught. I would say that's only a DC 15, but the consequences of failure are way higher.
I think I can afford to do that.
Just start taking Kopesh with you.
Yeah, just set something on fire.
Shank and Kopesh are perfectly willing to assist you in this task.
I love how casually that is suggested.
They both just simultaneously pull an already burning torch out.
It's like, how did you keep that from smoking?
Ancient goblin secret.
It lights as they pull it out.
They have a sparker on their belt to snap it against.
No, it's like the.
It's like a giant strike anywhere match.
No. They hold it like right between their butt cheeks, so it's still sticking out.
Oh, goblins are fireproof. Don't you know this?
No. They've had the torch outside of them the whole time.
It's not an unusual crash.
Let's just end this discussion.
Okay. So I'm gonna Set something on fire, presumably.
You know, it's like when people put cigarettes in their ears. Make sure they don't go out.
Yeah, that wouldn't explain why they're not making smoke or light though. I thought you were suggesting they had like stuffed them between their butt cheeks. That'd be a terrible idea.
What am I setting fire to, guys? Or just...
Probably something unimportant. Just pro tip.
A fish stall.
Fish stall. With that...
More like knock over a lantern onto like a
Yeah.
chair or something that's away from anything else.
Did we arrive at night?
It is currently actually around noon.
Oh, okay.
You arrived somewhat early in the morning.
There's a lot of foliage and trees and stuff. Right?
Yeah. You could set something on fire that's not actually in the fort.
Okay, that's true.
Although, starting a fire in Lockstock is going to be a DC 25 because it is always raining. It's never not raining. A running local joke is that the sun is a figment of their imagination.
We're gonna knock over a lantern and give it a little aid.
Alright, go for it. Give me deck still.
We're going to liberate some lanterns.
20! Crit.
Nice!
Nice.
You get 2 dice for this. Alright, we still have...
Okay,
you and
so as a previous roll, both from my con man experience
So
and
currently a bunch of the guys who are moving barrels have run off to go deal with some sort of fire on the other side.
like both as my con man experience and a ex-rebel sergeant experience, I've done this kind of thing before of smuggling things out of areas such as the factories, smuggling out of sulfur. So I have a lot of experience with this, and basically I'm just sort of planning and guiding people on how to do that.
Oh, you've set up like a series of like signals or innocuously the baseball signal scratches. Yeah,
Somebody has a
scratching
cap.
your butt twice and go around to the left.
Like when you pass each other by,
Adjusting your head.
you alert of each other, like of the guards' like locations, just by like those kind of signals.
Yep, go for it.
So we'll kind of
Probably
scale.
charisma.
And ex-rebel sergeant, I guess.
Yep.
All right.
I was about to say I would also allow intelligence, but then I noticed your intelligence is 8.
Yeah, so it's garbage.
Gee, I wonder what you're gonna pick.
That'll be 19, 23, 28.
Yeah, you get a pretty good going of routes and how to figure out what to do it. Next up.
Right, here I am, pretending to Clarence, using his favorite brush, trying to come up with ideas on how exactly I could cause this bat to make the calamity at that exact moment when we need it to, you know, as planned. So then I remember about that time where I was trying to train Clarence and some stuff didn't go so well as some other things.
The pooping.
Yeah. So, alongside of that, I was also trying, doing some basic things, to build trust and stuff. It's like some sort of basic communication measure. It's like saying hello and Clarence somehow saying hello back. It didn't go so well. I mean, Clarence responds, but
He responds by hissing.
Oh, that's the cutest thing ever.
Big mouth like that.
Right, so
So you had to.
roll. Time to roll.
Yep. A respectable 11.
Let's see, now what would this be? This is dealing with an animal, so that'd be a charisma thingy. And animal stuff, so that'd be 22.
22? Alright. Yep. At that point we have 10 dice, which is the maximum number of dice you can have.
Delightful.
All 10s.
That's bad.
A lot of 10s.
Wow, we did really well with this from smuggling.
How is that bad? How is all 10s bad?
Because you want them to be wider too, right?
Then you have 10 by 10. What? It is
He
wide.
said all 10.
See, that's what I was getting.
I know.
What?
It's alright. It's alright. It's just
The
fast.
10s.
Ignore her.
Aw.
Oh, don't ignore Vivian. Ignore Queen.
Sorry, what?
Okay.
So while on Lockstock Island, you have 3 10s to spend on skullduggery things. Meanwhile, you do find a guy who wants to buy some rum, and he will pay you 5 for each unit of rum, so you get 10. That's all you bring to him. Sweet.
Riley, flirt with him. Get that higher.
Your sailcloth sales go up by 3
because you can keep the source of the goods quiet so the Commodore doesn't look bad. And you can still try to make a negotiation check. I will say I have adjusted this somewhat. It is now, the DC is based on the environment, is normal, hard, or ridiculously hard. And I'm making it so it's nat 1 is -1, and just failing whatever check you went for is also -1.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So rather than having that weird zone where it's possible for nothing to happen.
Alright. Well, I
And I
have...
will remind you, you are in a champion environment, which means the DCs are 20, 25, 30.
Yeah. Okay, well, I
You
do
have
have
3 points.
but that could be a minimum of +3 to a roll. So,
Yeah.
okay.
You should go last.
You can go for
Let's
30.
just say 25. You can hit 25.
She can hit 30.
Pretty sure I can hit 25, but yeah, I'm also pretty sure I can hit 30 with a little effort. With
Like,
a,
you've hit 25
You have
relatively
3 luck
easily
points.
without luck points.
okay. But I just happened to roll well. That was...
Just go with 25. We don't need.
You can
Okay,
also just
let's
re-roll
re-
3 times.
No. Go with 25 just because the difference of 1 isn't too significant. But
It's still
Yeah.
one lucre that we could have.
Okay, but so it's 25,
The other thing to
30,
keep in mind is
or...
this check applies to a bonus to the sailcloth and a bonus to the rum running. So you're getting doubling down here.
Okay, so 20, 25,
If you
or
fail,
30.
it's twice as bad.
So
If
20,
you succeed, it's twice as good.
20, 25, or 30, right? Yeah, so this is negotiating, so this is definitely where bureaucracy comes in high, because she's negotiating the books and wisdom or intelligence?
Either charisma or intelligence.
Charisma or intelligence, then intelligence. Alright, so that's going to be a +12 to whatever I roll. So even if let's say I rolled 2 on the die, that's 14. If I get, so, yeah, let's, should we go for 30? Or do you want to just go for 25?
you can go for 30.
She's going to do
You have
whatever
3
we
luck
have.
points.
Ultimately, it's your call.
Going big.
Risky.
And the most, so if we fail the thing, we go down by 1.
Yep.
But if we
roll a nat
really
1,
bad-
you also go down by 1.
Alright, so we go down by 2 then.
Yeah.
But double that because it's rum and sailing. Or
So
sails.
we go down by 2 if I fail.
If you actually manage to crit fail with 3 rerolls, I'm going to be very disappointed. That's where you
Anybody against going for the 30?
You basically have to hit 18.
have
It's not
3
that
luck
hard.
points.
You
Do
have to
it.
hit 18. Not that hard.
19
Oh,
on
well,
the
look at
So that's 30 without even...
30 without even spending anything.
You are our paycheck.
The whole time they're like,
You
stuff.
have to step up your game, Mr. Moneymaker.
What?
He's not a
If we know
moneymaker.
who's getting
He's a distraction.
kidnapped, it's gonna be one of those two.
What did I not do?
He's like
You didn't sell yourself at a high margin.
he's like the X on the ground. He's the
I'm a
distraction.
ladies' man, not a prostitute. There's a nebulous difference, but there is a difference.
Here, you get the last one.
Oh no, thanks Vivian. Thank you, Vivian.
Eat it before I eat it.
Eat it, Vivian. I don't want the last pepperoni stick, but I appreciate the offer. But no,
That was still a damn good roll.
yeah.
Are you interested in knowing how much money you just made?
Yes.
46.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
From our base of 20.
Yup.
This is Beatrice's environment. They're like, oh my gosh, you want me to work through your overly complicated system?
Currently have 51 lucre.
Sweet. You can actually get full ship condition now.
Let's get some gold rims on our ship.
Gonna get a gold plate that lowered. It lowers because the gold is quite heavy.
Remember,
Yeah.
we are currently at 1 food and 1 water, so don't go spend all of it.
No, absolutely, we can get the food and water up. We want to get pretty much everything as high as we can get it.
Except for ableness, because that's more expensive here,
Yes,
right?
it is.
Yeah.
Ship condition is cheap here.
Yeah. So, can we just agree right now, pump ship condition up to full? So it's only 1 per...
1 per die, yep.
And we're down how many?
It cost you 5.
Alright, so 5
Hell
on ship
yeah.
condition.
So 51.
What else is on a discount?
Also on discount is the survival skill.
We should probably buy that.
Yeah.
We don't want to min-max things, though, so we don't want to get so much higher than our other skills that...
But survivability increases our use of the net
Yeah. May I suggest
without
actually that
sacrificing speed.
artillery costs more, but everything else is even, right?
Artillery and ableness cost more. Survival
for
and ship
skills.
condition cost less. For the other skills, they're the same.
Do we want to just bump up all of our skills?
Let's bump up the cheap stuff first. We might never get a deal like this again.
Well, yeah.
Well,
yeah, presumably
that
we're
too.
doing that first. Should we
I don't think we need to spend it now.
Yeah.
We can decide that later.
True. But 5 into ship
figure out
condition
what
is
we're
already
doing
done.
next.
while we're adventuring, our ship's getting repaired.
So, yeah, we've completed the sales of everything.
Okay.
I guess you're having your date, and we're gonna go into town and talk to some people, figure out what's going on. Yep. Sounds good.
Could she
jump on
have
rooftops.
done so well this that she actually gets invited back to like the admiral's holding some kind of dinner, so she goes there and brings
well, not the
Benjamin
admiral.
around?
It would be the
Or not
Commodore,
the
but yeah.
Commodore. The Commodore gets invited there.
You might get invited back. Yeah.
Commodore Ballroom.
Love triangle.
I actually-
Okay.
No, I'm assuming he has like a wife and they're holding some kind of dinner, and she can go there and maybe get some information with her not particularly good, information gathering skills.
Yeah, you do get invited to dinner. They encourage you to bring a date. If you suggest Benjamin, they actually inform you that Benjamin is not currently allowed in the fort.
He's not. She's gonna ask why.
They're a bit worried about him. He went out into the woods on a surveying trip with a group of people out to survey the island. His report of what occurred is that the people he was traveling with, he actually also reports this, a sort of a creeping feeling of dread just started coming over them the deeper they went into the woods. A few of the others that were just getting increasingly nervous and eventually terrified, and a few of them actually attacked the others, demanded that the others leave them alone. So he and a number of the other ones did. They just left them into woods because they were gone crazy or something, and they came back. So there were like 3 or 4 surveyors who were went crazy with fear and refused to leave and demanded to be left alone. The Commodore suspects their minds were warped by some kind of magic or spirits in the jungle. So currently Benjamin is basically being quarantined. Until they're sure he hasn't gone nuts, they're not letting him in Fort Locke.
I'm just putting jungle fever on here. Alright.
We're gonna have to reschedule again.
So, who wants to come to the Admirals? Or Commodores?
Well, there's probably a lot of nice burly men.
It would look weird taking it all back.
I am not showing my face.
2 girls.
Yeah, it's probably not a bad idea.
No,
This is not an anime.
maybe it's not your first pick, but Eduardo is rather handsome.
I would like to state I have a charisma of 10.
Average of 14.
She probably needs the one that she figured would be the most
And
beneficial to the reputation of the
keeps
ship.
good care
Yeah,
of
it's probably
himself,
gonna
so...
be.
Hey, can you find out where those people are?
When you said that,
Can
I
you
thought
find
you
out
were
where
going to
those
go with
people
him.
went to
But
leave
yeah,
them-
right.
be left
No.
alone are?
There's a wood somewhere.
But you're going for him?
She's occupied for the
Or maybe
evening.
one of working outside so we can question while.
Oh, yeah, keep the
Yeah.
charisma guy out there.
But not very
He
far
looks like
trip
a-
from the stockyard itself.
I meant, do I need like a guide or anything?
It
Wait.
wouldn't be a bad idea.
Not
They
sure that
suggested she bring a date. Did she mention? Did they specify how many dates she could bring?
Well, we still want people
That's the
gathering
exact kind of shit
information
you'd pull.
A date. A is singular.
Who are you, sister? Like, you look absolutely nothing. It's like adopted.
Would a guide in this case cost me gold?
Yeah, if you wanted to hire one, you have a ranger.
Yeah, we
No, but a guide for this forest specifically.
presumably we're not going to the forest.
I'm
Alright.
looking for the
It's an
people who
unsurveyed
want to be left
forest.
alone. And I want to talk to them.
If you want to go deep into the woods, you could try and do that, yeah.
Load?
Most of the locals will tell you that the prospectors and lumberjacks, they say something evil lives in the forest. They say if you start going too deep in it, you get this weird feeling of fear creeping over you. They say if you ever start to feel that, it means the creature's coming near you. A couple of them describe seeing a long, thin form, kind of like a snake, but made out of darkness. And they could hear this sort of faint hissing whisper on the wind, at which point they state, without a trace of shame, that they ran like hell.
I'm going to do the opposite.
I'm going with you.
yeah, I'm saying-
Let's do
You
this.
can give me a wisdom check.
Don't split the party.
Split the
come with
party.
Well,
Wisdom or
presumably we're not
charisma?
going to go in the middle of the night. Are we going in the middle of the night?
That one.
That
Not a point to spare.
Oh, I do.
You want to bet?
What are you doing?
One.
I don't know.
Not a big
One.
time. There's a luck point for you. Yeah.
While talking to people in town, you meet one prospector named Malcolm Dowell. You don't really meet him. You're sort of sitting in the trusty machete, talking to people.
McDowell?
Malcolm Dowell, not McDowell. But yes. Anyway, you actually overhear him having a conversation with his wife. He's apologizing. His wife appears to be berating him for being late and getting back from the woods and making her worried. He says he fell asleep while out in the jungle, but doesn't really know why. He says he saw some weird humanoid creature with scaly skin like a lizard man, but it was sort of slender and quick like an elf. Although he admits he's not sure if that was part of the dream he was having or if that was actually something he saw. He does know he saw something like that, then he fell asleep for no reason he can figure out, then woke up, apparently unharmed, and came back.
Just about where in the jungle did he fall asleep?
Pretty deep. He's a prospector. He was looking for new ore seams, so he actually went quite deep into the woods.
Okay.
He actually did get invited to the party. He's going to leave. Where are you going now? I'm going to the soccer.
A quarreling married couple. I should console them.
Okay, so
as far as you can tell from talking to the people in town, apart from rumors of this monster in the woods, the island is apparently deserted as far as people know, although no one's really surveyed it properly
Key
yet.
point as far as they know.
Yep. Well, they're all arguing that there's some horrible, shadowy snake monster living in the
Sounds
woods.
good.
all right.
Other people say they cringe.
I guess we'll just communicate that back to the
Fort
people
Locke's
going
official
on a date.
position is that that's
Well,
not.
she'd politely refuse things. If the crew was going to be off doing something, she'd be like, actually, I need to.
But that's the thing.
I need to be on my ship.
It's almost
tonight.
going to be
Thank
night.
you for the invitation.
Dinner's going to be at night. Do we want to go into the forest at night?
Apparently we are
Or
going to the
people
forest
are
at night,
saying
so-
don't
I would like to
at
go in
night.
at night.
She
They've actually said it's illegal to go to the forest at night. The card has said you're not allowed to do that.
We'll wait till
So you
morning.
can sneak into the woods.
Should we go in at night? There'll be more activity and it'll be easier to follow.
Well, we'll just go in.
Well, they've run into
Some
people have
run out, and they go back the next
the
day.
point of the
date?
Well,
We can't exactly
it was
look
it was
up and
a
see the stars.
humorous offshoot.
Yes,
It had no function.
exactly.
It might have
That is my
function.
You want it to have a function?
You could skew it to be like, hey, let me go
How
into the
much
forest.
can you milk them for?
I know if
much-
I'm
she
the
really
person
know-
she picks
Well,
as a date, there will be a function for this.
Steal the silverware.
Well, no, we should make sure he
How
doesn't
much
sleep
do
with
you
people.
really know
Do what really
about
shady people do at fancy dinners.
the
Steal
island before
silverware.
you came? And like,
Well, if we're gonna wait to do it into the morning, that way I can bring some people to the thing that.
Also,
could
I will
gather.
tell you, if you actually attend dinner with the Admiral, and just stay overnight at the fort, which he'll let you do, it would give you a bonus to any future work you do with him because you have a favorable relationship.
That could work to our advantage. Are you gonna stay the whole time hiding on the ship, or are you gonna come off and say hi?
You don't have to come into the fort. I don't hang around at this
Yeah.
Well, that
I'm gonna-
dinner meetup could be
I don't-
while we were
I
investigating.
don't. Yeah,
Okay.
that
All
was
right.
my.
You probably
that was the
off
idea.
for the night for dinner.
No, that was the idea. I don't want
We're gonna be
to. I don't.
jumping
I don't
on
want to be known.
rooftops.
So,
Well, her
Unknown
inclination would be to bring
parties.
the more charismatic person who she feels would be more likely to get information out of. But
Well-
unless he was intentionally staying with them,
Don't sleep with everybody
Which-
there and leave.
in which case she would
Don't
get
do
something
that.
at Porto.
well, here's
Should be
my,
a bad rap.
here's my argument on this.
Why don't you
You're
just
going
take
on
out?
a date with him. Do you know what
'Cause he
happens
doesn't
to
wanna
people who go on a dates with him?
They have really good dates.
They usually have a good time.
Just don't sleep
That's
with everybody.
They just don't often have a
Unlikely
good
to
time more
happen
than
with
once.
Beatrice.
Don't steal the
Yeah, take him with you.
commander's wife. Don't do that.
Unless you were staying
You
with
have a
them.
point if you do that.
Don't do that.
Although we're approaching nearing the decision.
If you do that, we will kill you. And
Wait,
anyway.
who is?
No, it's
what are you gonna
worse
kill?
to
What are you gonna kill him for
castrate
doing? What are you
You
gonna
got
kill
plenty
him
of
for
time to earn a lot.
trying to sleep with the admiral's wife.
doing? Do not
Or
sleep with the
Commodore's
Commodore's
wife.
wife. No.
She's really pretty.
If you do it, you're getting kicked straight out of the crew, man.
There's this word called infidelity. That's a bad.
Sorry.
You could try and talk to her husband and try and convince him of some sort of threesome.
Nope. Nope.
Every time he starts to
Best
make me
idea.
a move on her, Beatrice just like steps on his foot with her high heels.
You assume that would stop.
Stop. I'll just
No,
swing
like,
out
she's
the
wearing
window
stilettos.
and like.
But the heel part of it is actually a stiletto knife.
She got Gaddy's shoes. Just
I
found them in
introduce
this wreckage.
myself to them and have a nice conversation and try to figure out how nice their marriage is going.
I better bring Eduardo. Oh my god, why are we in a situation where we're better off bringing Eduardo?
Bring her.
Feels like maybe some of the sparks got out of it.
We could bring.
Oh,
It's okay. I can show up anytime.
Absolutely. Somebody
But you know what?
Rubbing-
Rubbing elbows with big brass would be something he would like to do.
Well, that's something he's
Do you
planning
want
to
to
do.
reward him? Is the question.
He hasn't done anything bad today. So yes, Eduardo will come.
He has actually done the opposite of
He's
bad
done
things
really
this
well
session.
today. He gets
I'm
to
just
come to
proposing the
party.
question. I'm not calling it to question his skills.
Yeah. So yes, she'll bring Eduardo.
You're on the investigation with us.
Man.
Whatever's out there, don't sleep with it.
I make no promises.
It's a dragon. It's the origin of the Dragonborn.
There's a
Shall we
whole
carry?
origin of the island.
Now, let's see.
well,
It's a
if
snake
we're
shadowy
running-
thing with, let's see, leathery reptile skin and make people go to sleep. I think I have a
Alright.
love song that can work with
No check required here. The thing most of the people in town are describing makes you feel this weird sense of terror and is a weird shadow snake thing. The thing Malcolm was describing is clearly not that thing. It was like a humanoid figure that made him fall asleep and then
So
didn't hurt
it's
him.
possibly multiple things.
Yeah, there might be more than one
may
thing.
I?
at once.
Okay, so at the dinner party, since we're running out of time here, I figure I might as well try and use these. She's going to actually be talking up Eduardo's skill as a surveying like map mage. Just the fact that he has some experience doing this kind of thing, and we've heard that there's something hinky going on with your forest, and we actually might be able to. So let's see what we can do. We've got some people with unique skills on our ship.
Don't want to tell them what's in there.
We'll just
Basically trying to get yourself hired.
I'm trying to get hired, and basically so it's legal for us to go into the forest. And if we're doing weird stuff, and they're like, "Why are you doing weird stuff?" We're like, "We're here on special commission
Get
from
out
the
of jail
Commodore."
free card.
Yeah, basically.
Sure. You can give me either charisma or intelligence.
Work out a deal for them to
rational.
pay us.
This seems like a charisma one. It's the lower of the skills, but this seems more appropriate.
You get +2 because the admiral does like you, or not the admiral, the commodore does like you.
Do I get a bonus?
And
you also
I'm-
get a
Driving
bonus
into
for
your brain.
assist?
Yeah, you are.
I'm well versed with their laws, so I know where he might actually be able to fit this legally into his.
Well, that's not very hard.
Yeah.
I mean, he made a provision that says you're not
Sure.
allowed to go in the woods, and he can just edit that.
I was trying to figure out whether bureaucrat
Also an
would apply.
assist, because I'm also there.
Bureaucrat could apply, yeah.
Alright.
I think she's okay.
So adding an 11, 16 plus 11, 27. Should I start adding?
Just do it.
Is there any benefit to me getting really high on this?
You would be able to get paid more for doing it.
Alright, okay. I'll roll 3d6s.
You
Three?
can spend them one after another. You don't have
Yeah.
to spend them in one shot.
Well, we've got 5 minutes left.
15.
I don't have
15
to
minutes?
work tonight.
What the frick?
Oh, I thought we were. Are we not breaking necessarily?
I'm gonna go home at the correct time because I got a bunch of work to do, but you guys can continue playing without me.
I feel bad that we keep doing
Oh,
this.
that's
I got
fine.
textbooks to read.
I got things to do. It's my own issues with school.
Alright, when was that before? 27, so I'm at 30. Wait, what was that before?
26 or 27.
Yeah, it was 27, so now I'm at 31.
Yeah, you can convince him to hire you out to investigate the town.
If you lose some, if we die,
At a
you don't
particular
lose
rate
anybody
plus,
critical.
plus
That's
expenses.
a bonus.
We're just dirty foreigners, especially that gypsy.
Yeah, that goddamn dirty gypsy with his crusty jugglers. Crusty jugglers.
And that horrible evil man that's trying to break up your marriage.
The grades
He will
are
give
good.
you- because you rolled a 30, I'll say he'll give you 2 lucre up front for some kind of expenses, but he's not just going to give you a blank expense account.
Aw. We need these bows for reasons. We need this
And
cannon
what's
for
our?
reasons.
Do we have a
Survey
specific
the
payout?
place.
If we, well, I guess it depends on what we find and how
It
we deal
depends
with
on what
it.
you find, yeah. The more proof you bring back, the more money you're going to get for it.
Okay.
You can fly over the forest.
What if you
So
bring
a
the body
carcass.
with
So a carcass is probably gonna get.
If you bring a body back, that's going to be the 3 point. Verifiable evidence would be 2, and just
Yeah, but with the mat, you can
a
go
clear
with
report, but no actual proof would be 1.
All right, I think we're doing well here.
You get a permit to go into the forest at night.
Plane,
Yep,
right?
you get that.
Presumably that's included
That
in our.
has a mini
I just basically I want a deputized
that
badge.
can dock on the bigger plane.
I was like, I want to have some actual authority here.
We actually wear
That's
shining
unnecessary,
stars on all of us.
You are given the fantasy equivalent of 10 stars.
Yes. Nice. bust open some doors. Hey, like, why are you doing that? Because of this. Badges.
No, actually.
Ride a blazing saddle, we wear all shiny stars.
Nope. Anyway, so what do you guys like to do this week? As night comes in, the streets are deserted, all the doors are locked, and all the windows are shut.
Is there anything we can use our skullduggery points for?
You could break into warehouses and steal stuff.
That isn't
I'd rather
incredibly
I'd
illegal?
rather not do that in a military town.
Yeah, I will tell you that the skullduggery things are currently sitting on your sheet as like, for as long as you're in Lockstock, you can spend those.
Okay, then we're
So
fine.
you don't have to spend them this session.
We may need those.
I think what would probably be a wise decision if we're going to the forest would be getting a good bird's eye view of the thing, because
Perhaps a bat set.
Side view. I think that's an excellent
there's
advantage.
also ambassador, but with Clarence, I can come with that.
I was gonna say
ambassador,
for
which
this
should be
first
pretty
night, why don't
cool.
we just post out like stake out certain areas of the town to watch
totally
for
just
suspicious
hopping on
activities?
Would you like to send ambassador out to scout the alley?
In the storm.
It's raining.
Okay.
It's not incredibly stormy right now.
This
It's
might be-
merely a downpour.
It's normal Vancouver weather.
Couldn't there be?
Basically.
So there's no lightning
Yeah.
right now.
Not currently. Okay. Want to send the bird out?
I had this hilarious feeling we were going to end up somebody's lunch.
Can
I got a
we
better idea.
do some
Right?
stakeouts?
Yeah.
Alright, ambassador's on my shoulder.
You are
I'm
correct.
on Clarence.
Mobile.
We're going together.
I'm not entirely sure
Make me
whether
a
we would let the
dexterity or wisdom check
bat
to fly
out
around
in
on
this
the bat.
weather.
Alright.
Meh.
Story with it.
I'm
It's
okay
still
with
windy
it
weather,
dying
yeah.
because if it dies, then
Don't worry.
we no longer have a Lucre drain.
But
Do we?
it
Oh,
also
did he
is
ever
our,
get a seatbelt for the bat?
our
Yeah,
secret
he just
compartment.
tied himself to it, yeah.
It's hidden pretty well, the secret compartment.
There's still going to be a saving
I
throw
like
involving
her.
falling off of it.
I understand you like the
I
guards.
like our bat.
We can get something else,
Let's see, that
like a
is-
direwolf.
I don't. Did we agree to let him out on the bat though? Was the first question.
I don't
Has
mind.
not
Just
been
gone.
answered.
Because they're gonna
Okay,
stake
well,
out
if he
and
kills the
survey
To
bat,
be
you.
fair, he's only endangering himself and the bat that you don't particularly like anyway.
Well, Beatrice doesn't like the bat. I happen to personally
16?
quite like the bat.
16? No.
Alright.
Stormy weather.
I'm gonna get 4 more, and it's on a 6 natural.
Just
I'll just reroll.
Yep, nope.
Alright.
Did he
Lost
crit?
the guy.
Would you get that?
A natural one lower.
Did you just disappear from the middle of the dinner party, by the way?
Probably.
Right. No, wait.
No, hold on.
I'm assuming
I
this
thought
is,
this
no,
was
no, no.
after the
I'm
dinner
assuming
party.
this is
This is
after the
after
dinner
the
party because we're gonna do a stakeout after dinner.
It's after the dinner party. It is at night, though.
Okay.
Yeah, we're doing a stakeout of the town.
We are hot to trot for that stakeout.
So yeah,
You
you,
kill
are
the
buffeted
bat.
around by the winds.
You kill or hurt
As
that
you
bat.
are trying to sort of explore around the island. You don't really get anywhere, and also make me a saving throw.
Here we go.
One.
Mind,
4!
Nice.
mind
You rolled
altering.
a 6, you rolled a 5, and then you rolled a 4.
You are overcome with a feeling of abject panic as you're flying around, and flee back to the town and hide for the entire night, and cannot be persuaded to leave.
I imagine the
Is
bat's
Clarence
probably
also
the
hiding
same
in the
way.
same room?
Well, the bat's
Yes.
already like a coward.
Are
So.
they both
Yeah.
holding each other?
Big
Hold me,
wings, right?
giant bat. Only if you
Clarence
hold
is
me.
like right, and Ambassador's like right in between them.
It's like, ah!
I meant like the bat's just kind of like
It's like
They have
Iago.
lifted some of my booze and they're cradling it.
nom the bat. Or,
But-
I don't know why my hugging gesture
So
looks like
he
a
suddenly
speakerphone.
excommunicado. So we suddenly just can't contact him, or do we just get?
You just
gibberish?
get panicked phrases coming from
This
him
is-
of like gibbering nonsense.
I feel like
Hey,
this is
could you
where
quiet down the line? We need to actually communicate intel from the stakeouts.
Actually, all of you can also make me a saving throw. It occurs to me.
every single element.
You get +2 to this time.
I got a 20.
I got a
Ah.
10.
I got a 10.
I got an 8, but I'm gonna.
What do you need?
11 or better.
Damn it.
I want to stay sane.
I got 13, so
13? Alright.
yeah.
Anyone who did not manage to get 11 or better also feels a sensation of abject panic coming through your mental connection.
Great.
And people
this
who
is
pass
something
that
similar.
check, people who pass that saving throw can figure, that's some sort of magical compulsion.
Yeah.
Like something just spelled backlash through your brains.
Beatrice actually, because she's
So you know that something just mentally attacked Eduardo.
Great.
I am so not bored.
You are not bored. That's true.
If only it wasn't the end of the session.
Beatrice would be using, the reason she's so calm is because she's currently berating Eduardo for taking the bat out without filling out the proper forms and getting the appropriate approval.
I'm pretty sure the door's
Requisition
locked,
forms.
so you're yelling through the door.
It's a cage. It's
No,
a cage.
he's in my room.
I thought he was
You
hiding
get
out in
that?
town.
The bat is currently hiding with him. They're cradling each other.
Yeah, but wouldn't they be in the bat's enclosure? Or
No,
if
they're
you're
in
your
town.
Probably somewhere in town.
Oh,
They're
okay.
just hiding
in
like
town.
under.
They
Then
panically
they-
fled.
Well, she's
hiding under a
then
patio.
In that case, she's
a
planning
cat.
all of the things
Well,
she's
there's
going
also
to
the
say.
mental connection.
Like 3 cats and a mouse.
So, wait, did I leave my stakeout position?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you failed your save, you were hiding somewhere.
So who stayed in their stakeout position?
Can I hide in my
I'm-
stakeout position?
I'm still mobile.
No, I'm terrified. I ran to a place called the Weeping Pansy Inn. I'm drinking my sorrows.
Yes. All right. So who was it all that failed? Brendan. Anyway.
Wow.
50%.
Can
Yeah,
I roll
every
for
other
ambassador
person.
to see if he gives no fucks?
No, Ambassador gives many bucks.
Alright.
Did you pass?
Yes, I
Yeah.
spent the thing. Those went off.
What that's going to do is you guys are going to be dazed if you get into a fight. You will be dazed to start with. You will start to shrug it off eventually, but yeah.
I can't remember what
Good
this does.
thing I
Minus
have.
4 to attacks.
That's a
Okay.
good thing
Oh,
I
God
got
damn
a
it.
thing to stop that. Right? To save.
Damn it! Just last for a fight.
Damn it.
Lucky.
I'm gonna redo my spells tonight.
Alright. So, with half of your, the people under your command cowering,
Including the person I just talked to.
There is a person to blame for this, by the way. There is a singular person.
Vivian,
It wasn't
Yeah.
my idea.
I'm stupid
Yes,
about
it
the town.
was!
I wanted
Sorry,
to
that was the
still in
Harper
town
voice.
too, correct?
Yeah.
How was it not a
No,
good idea?
I
Vivian
contributed, but he wanted to go on the bat.
You
So
can
like,
both give me a
I've been
wisdom,
wanting to go on the
perception, and
bat for
spotting
a
stuff
long
check.
time.
Yeah. That's, yeah.
Real wisdom.
What are we doing?
Wisdom
People who
perception.
20.
passed
20.
Okay.
get to try and do something. People who maintained their positions watching the town.
I rolled a 17 on the die.
You are in Fort Locke.
I'm right. Sorry.
So, yes,
I don't know.
that is why you didn't hear
20.
it. Yep.
Sorry, I thought you said I just tuned
I'd
in
just
for
like
part
to
of
say,
it.
because I pretty much crit failed my thing, I'm going to say the reason I wasn't affected by the fear thing is because I was preoccupied with something else.
I wonder what.
Trying and failing to get into
Oh,
someone
what
else's
was he
path.
preoccupied with?
A
You can
sneaky
figure
monster.
it out for yourself.
Now, you see,
Don't give me that
pretty
power.
bad food, so...
He's heard of those things.
You're
called
preoccupied
chapter
with the Commodore. Not his wife, the Commodore. She said you couldn't date his wife. She said nothing about him.
I am fine with this.
Alright, you got 20?
Yeah.
During the night, as you are maintaining your levels of fear at a normal, cohegent level, it's a word, totally not. Shut up.
Are you trying to compete now?
Yes, cohegent. It's like cohesive and cogent. I don't sleep a lot. Anyway, you're maintaining watch on a rooftop. The streets are totally deserted until you spot somebody skulking around in the middle of the night. They are thin, lithe, sort of elf in level of dimension, although they're a bit shorter than an elf, and they are skulking around in the night. What would you like to do?
I would like to stealth closer.
Alright,
Are you
give me
relaying?
dex stealth.
I am going to stealth closer. There's a guy.
Do it.
Did you telepathically relate to us his basic characteristics?
Those of you who are not terrified, care.
Everyone else, shut up. 11 plus dex. Right.
Yep.
18.
18. Alright. As you're approaching, do you have any luck points left?
Well,
you got one.
You've got Vivian.
Thief would apply.
Yeah, so.
Did you apply that?
23.
Okay, yeah. DC was 20. Alright. As you approach, you manage to avoid being spotted by whatever this thing is. As you get close enough, it passes near a lamp, sort of lamplight coming from just around the shuttered edges of a window. It looks almost like a thin human, except there's like scales. It looks sort of like snakeskin over part of its neck, running down under its clothing. It has yellow eyes with vertical slits, and it has a scimitar in its hand, with a somewhat determined look.
A kidnappy look?
Perhaps.
You are the only proper combatant we have in the field right now, Vivian.
Occasionally, though, it sort of stops, like looks around, like at different houses, like it's trying to figure out where it's supposed to be going.
I mean, we can still show up. You just have to call
Yeah.
us. It's
Like,
just, we'll
if
be
we're
crappy.
terrified, we'll probably think she's in danger.
Yeah.
Could be.
You're gonna always think you're in danger.
Like, we can still show up. It's just we're gonna suck in battle for a bit. So,
As it's standing there looking around, it flicks the tongue out, and that's a snake tongue.
Oh, great.
Hisses slightly.
It's like,
Then it starts making its way towards the house.
Would this be a good time to end the session?
Sure.
oh.
Is that for us? Or is that a random shopping trip?
Which answer is less embarrassing?
is that pepperoni or Slim Jims?
It's pepperoni.
How spicy?
Like Slim Jim.
Some people
Honey
actually
garlic
like
flavor.
Slim Jims. I don't know who.
It's the dry kind.
it's-
That's chewy.
I'm a big fat guy, and even I don't like Slim Jims.
Stoners.
I would like the record to show that our one player has showed up with pepperoni sticks. Just
Declare.
out of the blue.
Shown up.
I think that kind of
Well,
one-ups your
I think
premix.
it's pretty. Oh, I don't know.
Would you rather I did it?
They're two different sides of the scale. It's hard to compare.
Sweet and savory. Put them both together.
There's actually still room for someone to show up with chips, and it'll still be a pretty even
Yeah,
collection because they're not really that similar.
I'm trying to figure out how to make Red Lobster Butter Bay biscuits, so whenever I figure out the recipe for that, I might bring them around to test.
Remember, it's heave,
Safety
then ho. Don't mix that up.
I just picture this like.
The hoe
presented
heave
with-
is something very different. That happens around 3 in the
You can
morning
ask him about
outside bars in the red light district.
Or just around this guy.
That too.
Okay.
He doesn't usually induce vomiting in them.
I mean, we don't know what goes on in there. I don't.
That's your hooker who just came off work from a really unpleasant client. It's just like, oh no, was not worth it. He responds by hissing.
Oh, that's the cutest thing ever.
Big mouth like that. Isn't that Pokemon Golbat just has like the 4 giant teeth?
Yep.
That's the cutest thing ever.
But
100%
how is it
approved.
Adorable.
how is Golbat cute? Its mouth is its body.
No, I'm saying with the picture like a big fuzzy like giant bat.
So
And it's
blue
like,
bat.
like toothless. He is.
That is not a
toothless.
bat.
He's like,
Do you know what a bat looks like?
yes, I know what a bat looks like. We were just looking
That would not be cute.
Giant
Some
bats.
bats are cute.
Yeah,
When they're not.
When their jaws are open, hissing at you, and if they're the size of a freaking person,
By the way, your brush is...
I don't think that's cute. I think cuteness is directly correlated to tininess.
No, it's not.
Not always.
Big spider's cute. Little spider's cute.
Big spider's
are not
cute?
Yes, big
What?
spiders are cute.
I think she's comparing like the tarantula to like the spindly kind of spider.
Yeah.
Which, sure, I can buy that. I still don't want a tarantula.
And the little like.
You have a very messed up definition of cute.
How do you see
what I'm
like the
learning.
pictures?
Yeah, I
Like
think
the,
everyone's definition of cute is different.
Subjective.
but like the meme
Yes,
with the little spider,
but
like, oh, I just
a
got rid of all the
tarantula.
flies for you.
I will
like
freely
them.
state
I know some people like
that
them.
cartoon spiders can be cute.
Yes. Yes. But real life spiders, not so much. With their fangs
You spend time
and
around
their
your own
venom.
spiders.